And we're back with Malevolent Movies presents The Fight for Summer Fright. It's free drinks tonight for the archaeologists because it's the July Slaughterfest. So watch out for thunder and lightning because Camp Two Hands came to the party with a malicious mummy. So head to the bathroom, grab some toilet paper, and riggedy wrap yourselves up because they have awakened the 1999 film Ancient Evil's Scream of the Mummy.
Oh, are we live?
I don't know. I just assumed.
We're on the air.
It was a good segue. But yeah, episode 22 of Malevolent Movies. And we have entered officially our second phase of the fight for Summer Fright. We're calling this July Slaughterfest. And this month's attributes that the movies have to have mainly revolve around violence, as you hear in the title, Slaughterfest. Gore and grue and disgusting big body counts, and that's what we're going for anyway for the month of July with our titles.
Camp Two Hands. Explain yourselves. What did you pick? What were what was your killer and the iconic element that they had to bring with them? And then explain yourself.
Zach, would you care to do the honor this month?
Yes, I was just distracted I was looking at some stuff to do with this. So we had to do a monster, or I believe monster or creature was the phrase, right?
Yeah.
And they had to have something atmospheric, which I had texted Tyler because I 2 weeks into the hunt, because I wasn't sure if that meant atmospheric horror or something that actually influences the atmosphere around it. And we ended up going with
like The Mist.
Yeah, kind of. And so we went with, something that would affect the atmosphere around it. And in this case, it's a mummy that I believe is controlling lightning. I believe the lightning is attached because there's never any rain associated with the lightning.
Abruptly shows up for the rest of the movie when the mummy does. So.
Right,
And
with no rain.
The rain god.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But there's never any rain in the movie, right?
No.
They didn't get that song.
Lightning and
There's
wind.
a shot that's in the desert.
There's a shower.
But I got to point out right at the top, this movie rains fucks throughout. Was anybody else surprised by that? They just casually saying fuck all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I never noticed it.
For a movie with no boobs or anything like that, and the gore level wasn't too crazy.
No.
I was like,
nothing.
why are we saying fuck Morris? Tone down the fucks.
And that was as far as Morris, that was the actor's very first movie, or at least he had an introduced credit, introducing blah, blah, blah as Morris. And so he was coming in hot with all those F-bombs. But yeah, it was his first time. It won't be his last time working with Mr. David DeCoteau, who is the director of this movie. And I'm surprised it's taken Malevolent Movies this long to finally dip our big toe into the David DeCoteau oeuvre. The man makes 14 movies a year, but unlike our buddy who did Virus Shark, he's still at least doing professional movies for like Lifetime and Hallmark, and he's got Vivica Fox in half of his movies, and so they are competently made movies, if not good movies.
Yeah, I would say this is definitely competent.
Yeah.
I mean, from a technical standpoint, not the script is the dog shit, but
I did see on IMDb that this was in the bottom 250 films ever made for several years running. It's off now, but it was in the bottom 250.
Yeah, which
so when did Grace's Room take its place?
Didn't deserve it.
I also did find out, so I have to look up the list of names that somebody typed out because I didn't retain a single name either.
I got them. I got all of them. They all have real dorky names, which I was a little surprised.
Right.
Nobody had a cool name except for Orlando.
Well, and it was bothering me. So Orlando was annoying the crap out of me because I was like, I recognize this guy. He played Miles Morales' dad in the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? He was modeled after him, or just his voice?
Both. They actually mocapped. They mocapped and everything.
Wow.
Which
Shit.
It was bothering the hell out of me. But also his other stuff, his top movies are Ancient Evil, Scream of the Mummy, Scavengers from 2012, and Tigerland from 2000. So
wow,
this guy
gets around. This is impressive. I put Morris at the bottom of people who deserve another chance at acting, and then he was a close second behind him. So
yeah.
Really? I thought Orlando was one of the stronger performers in the movie.
Yeah.
There's so Don's acting was terrible, but I liked it, so I wanted to see more of him.
Yeah.
Same with Norm.
So yeah, after going through all of the Trevor and I, we put together I think like 12 or 13 movies we scrubbed
It was a
through.
lot.
Quite a list.
Plenty of them had good monsters, plenty of them had fine creatures, but the problem was the atmospheric idea. That was the struggle for us. But we found something.
Our runner-up is quite a movie that I really want to watch, but it very explicitly takes place in the fall. Yeah, and I felt like that was like, no, that's a bridge too far.
Save it for Bad October.
Don't worry. Zach and I have to fight over it.
Yep.
And I was trying to rack my brain as well because that is tough. And I give you kudos for even finding something. A movie where there's a monster in the summer and also changes the atmosphere whenever it's around. The only monster I could think of visually that does that all the time was going way back to like Son of Dracula and the Universal stuff, where every time Dracula would show up, there'd be fog. That was the only thing. So the fact that you found anything, I will give you kudos to that. Regardless how I feel about the movie in the end, I'm surprised. That was you guys had a hard assignment.
Thank you. Yeah, please factor that into the final Malevolent or Benevolent.
Well, I mean,
I gave you guys decent marks, so I gave it. I mean, if anybody actually watches this movie before hearing this review, they probably could have figured I would have done that. So,
by the way, I also it's worth noting that Joe's version of the movie is better than Tyler's, but Tyler's has the local sluts DTFnearyou.com floating around the movie the whole time.
I couldn't tell Joe to help me find it because otherwise he would know. Right. So I did my best, and unfortunately, if you Google like Ancient Evil, Scream of the Mummy, MP4 download, it's mostly xvideos.com and Pornhub that's showing up. So whatever.
Which is weird.
They love mummies. They absolutely love the mummy stuff.
It's really weird because this movie has zero nudity.
Yeah.
It would make sense if there was even a boob in the movie. Yeah. No boobs.
Yeah.
None.
Maybe somebody was looking for like mummy porn and maybe they would be pleasantly surprised by the cinematography and
they typed in step mummy and then this is what came up.
Screaming step mummy.
Yep.
And they got this.
Well, they were looking for older ladies and they put an ancient and
Dusty.
Oh, God. Ancient Evil, Scream of the Mummy opens on a 3-minute title sequence, which is too goddamn long for nothing to be happening because the title sequence isn't particularly flashy. There's nothing like enticing about it. It's just words and orchestral music in the background. There's nothing exciting about it. And then we get the establishing shot of what appears to be like a golf resort.
Yeah.
Right? Like this looks like a country club.
Okay, so here's my first gripe. I thought it was more of like an old folks' home that they were filming in. That's the vibe I got with a little like sunroom where they had the
it's in Arizona.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, you got 45 minutes to film. They're playing shuffle puck over there.
Shuffle puck.
You're a shuffle puck.
Yeah.
So we cut inside, and we've got some. This is how we know that this is not a country club or an old folks home. We got scientists, and they're standing around the mummy. We're not wasting time getting to this mummy. And they're talking about, and we get a lot of exposition right out the gate, where like they're just like drooling over this mummy, and the teacher mentions that this is an Aztec mummy, or a mummy from an Aztec temple found in Mexico. The dweeb comes in, and you know he's the dweeb because he immediately makes a move on Stacy, and he's the fucking nerd.
Well, he does a Joe because what happens is, we get all this exposition. The teacher's just talking and giving us all this stuff. And then the second she takes a breath, this nerd dives in with something that has nothing to do with the conversation at hand. Like he was just sitting there waiting for her to stop talking so he could dive in.
Your hair looks
and
nice.
That's a Buckley move right there.
Your hair looks nice, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy, I got some Japanese softcore films on my Plex if you want to come over and watch them.
I mean, that's basically what he does.
Yeah,
that's not that
got
far.
Real nice hair. I've been looking at you. I've been watching you.
Anyway,
I want to give the film some credit here because it's essentially a 4.5 minute long exposition dump just to get the setup for the movie out of the way.
Yeah,
I feel like they could have done it in 60 seconds, but they take their time. And so, like, a part of me, like, initially was like, okay, I'll listen to every word you're saying, but I expect this to pay off, and it didn't.
They obviously read a lot of stuff to regurgitate as like science talk and mummy talk and stuff. So like they go into it and without actually like fact checking it, it sounds like it's probably real, and like, but they just made it boring because like throwing a bunch of just random crap isn't interesting for story purposes.
Yeah,
but whatever.
It does its job, quote unquote, which is to establish our characters that are in this room and establish that we have a mummy. And they were like, I don't know why they felt the need to dedicate this much time to that. But it is what it is. So then we see, so then the nerd walks out. He's clearly embarrassed, and we meet Don. He's got, he's kind of a handsome boy, and he mentions he's not into this mummy crap. He's into dinosaurs and cool shit like that.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. I wrote down his line. Because do you want to take the professor's name?
Professor Cyphers.
Professor Cyphers.
Yeah, and the nerd is Norman.
I was just hoping her name would be D.
D. Cyphers.
But she says something along the lines of how, like, oh, Don, you guys need to do this thing. And he says, whoa, hey, Stacy and Norman and I are Aztec experts. I know about as much about this stuff as I do about brain surgery. My thing is dinosaur bones and fossils. That's what he says.
Wait. Okay, I totally missed the part where he is also in a discipline of archaeology. I just thought he was just some like asshole jock who just like was at this.
No, man, don't you know?
No.
Paleontologists are the cool, are the bad boys.
Maybe we'll get into this. I don't know if we'll get into this, but I'm just gonna say it right now. What the fuck is this? Is this like a summer camp? Is this a community college? At some point they say it's like a city college, but like
it's a Make-A-Wish thing.
It's mummy school.
It's like six kids at like a summer camp.
Mummy school. Yes.
Yeah.
The weird thing is that they're like forced to stay there. There's a curfew. There's security guards who don't let them leave. There are
if you have your lights on past like 9:00, they come bust your legs in. Like they're trapped there. These kids are trapped there. They've never had a beer before in their life.
Guys. Purgatory.
Yeah.
Well, we could sledgehammer this for sure.
I'm saying they don't leave.
But this opening,
I mean, they only shot this in 4 days, but maybe there's a deeper reason.
This opening scene, it looks like a setup like you would find in a museum. There's candles. There's a display case over the amulet.
You don't find that in a museum, Tyler.
Fucking no. I'm just saying that, like, it looks like what a bad movie would try to make look like a museum.
It looks like what you'd find in like a mummy's tomb, which is weird because this is a community college, and it's weird that it's a community college because there's a mummy in it. Because normally you don't find a mummy school. I'm not gonna get into it.
I took it as a bunch of like it's a college. It's a summer program for those hardcore paleontologists. Astro mummy studiers, I don't know what the fuck they're called, and like they're studying it but also getting it ready to display.
Well, like, they also mention later
don't give a shit because rocks are for nerds.
Yeah, I already got a D this semester. I don't gotta do nothing else.
They mention later on that the Aztec exhibit, this is the setup for the Aztec exhibit, which is, again, why would a high profile thing like a mummy, like a real legit mummy, be displayed here?
Well, it's on tour.
Museum. Yeah, but
it's on tour.
Right.
So it starts there. It starts
greatest hits.
IBCC did the same thing with not with a mummy though.
They
had these tours come through, and I had to store them for a week. Yeah, I would store them for a week, and then they had all these rules of how to be packaged because then it's traveling to like another school. So that's kind of what it was. Is that this mummy's
right? But they keep this mummy under like a bed sheet and just leave it there, and like the thing that preserved the mummies for like 6,000 years is just like leaving them in like a humid room under a bed sheet. That's what.
You gotta sprinkle salt near his feet.
That's why Morris is like, you gotta keep the doors fucking shut. That's why it was so important to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At the end of the day, Morris was the one, even though he was the one that wasn't an archaeology student, he was the one that knew the most.
Yeah.
Mummies are just like beef jerky. You just gotta stick a little packet of that salt you can't eat next to them, and they're gonna be good as rain.
As good as rain?
Oh yeah.
Just so
Those
close.
Ryan, you are as
Fumbling on the
wet as
5-yard line.
water.
Also, Joe, and maybe this is one of your word brain association things. You reference beef jerky, and later in the movie, somebody calls the mummy beef jerky face.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
job, Joe.
I stole it from the ether. Maybe.
From the ether, huh?
So anyway, Don's not excited. He's got to look at the mummy for a while or whatever. And so we go outside because we have to meet new characters. And we meet Orlando walking. He's walking, doing important geology stuff. He's got a rock in one hand, a paintbrush in the other. And he is just, you know how it's like, oh, we better check this fossil. Take it for a walk. Like, you want to make sure you really walk around with this shit. And so he goes for a walk. He's out by the courtyard. Bow, we meet Morris. And Morris, he's a bit of a goober, and he likes to goof around, which is made very quickly apparent when
Dude,
he
I think
jumps out.
Morris is like super cool, dude.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is the guy you want to hang out with at the party.
Yeah. And and you find out very quick, Orlando, he's not here to goof. He's here to learn about rocks and mummies and stuff. And I actually, immediately, Orlando's dope. He's like, hey, quit fucking around. I'm carrying a fossil. And then, so then the dweeb comes back around, and the jock decides to be like, hey, fuck off. Like, he's just a dick. Like, he's being mean to the dweeb. And Orlando's like, can you not? Can you just cut it out? Which I thought was great, because I actually thought that Orlando was going to, hop in on it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, because that's usually what happens. You have a couple of jocks, not just one who's a total dickhead.
Well, unfortunately, okay, so I gave this film high marks in script and acting because they are terrible.
Yes.
Every scene where there's more than one person talking, because sometimes people talk to themselves many times throughout the film, everybody's talking over each other. They're talking super fast, and I love it. It's so cringy. And part of what makes this great is that everybody hates Morris.
Yeah.
Even the girl that macks it with Morris hates Morris. Everybody hates Morris. Why is Morris there? Who signed Morris up for this school or program? What is he doing there? And I loved it because he doesn't belong there.
He clearly doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be in this institution, which he's, in theory, spending, $100,000 to be at this prestigious old folks home after school special archaeology club.
He's a PBS kid.
Yeah.
All they had to do was say, Morris had to be like, I don't even want to be here, but if I want to play football, I got to look at these dang mummies. Something like that.
Well, yeah, he's here to get extra credit.
These dang mummies. I wish that then they could have called the movie These Dang Mummies.
These dang mummies.
He's there as part of a punishment. This is his detention.
Yeah.
They took away his summer to make him go here.
Oh, I got to
Because
learn
he does
instead
not
of
give a
drinking
shit.
and having sex.
Ugh.
Morris
But
is so cool.
I also love this, so Morris says, no one likes him anyway. He's a fucking weirdo. And Orlando says, no, that's you. No one likes you because you're a fucking weirdo. Straight to his face, just so matter-of-factly. That was, I was like, okay, this guy better make it to the end. Spoilers. Doesn't happen.
No.
So, and then we get, I think, Janine, right? She pops in just to establish, because Morris was talking about hey, I'm DTF, these singles near me. I'm going to get with Janine later. And Janine pops in to be like, hi, I'm Janine, and then I like that when the topic of the mummy comes up, Morris says, and I wrote this down, I don't know what the big deal is. I mean, my grandma's dead, but I'm not about to put her on display.
Yeah. He says that before he steals from the mummy.
Right before exactly. Right before
somebody probably stole from his grandma. She had a nice pocket watch and 3 gold teeth missing in the casket.
It was him.
That's how he paid for all that.
Yeah.
To go to that summer program. The mummy's on display.
So Morris, he does, like you said, he steals the bracelet off of this mummy. Again, it's just weird, that he, of all people, has access to the room that the mummy's in. It's not in a display case or anything. Again, it's underneath a towel. He takes the bracelet off of it because his plan is going to be to use it to impress Janine. And then the dweeb comes out of nowhere. Once he leaves the room, the dweeb comes in and he's eyeballing this mummy. Oh, yeah. A lifeless body. Something that I assume Joe would say if he found a lifeless body right before, losing his virginity.
Yeah, she's all dusty. Hell yeah.
Oh, that laugh. That was some ancient evil that just came out of Joe.
Yeah.
Also, I have a theory.
Okay.
Yes.
What if Morris is porking Professor Cyphers, and she said, "Look, all you have to do is just be there. I'll give you the grade. You got to go down in the sliz." Like I kind of wish they had set that up because I could see that because Professor Cyphers is like she seems like I'm a cool professor. Let's talk about bones and stuff. And while side-eyeing Morris, like, oh,
he also like knows about her alcohol
I'd
later.
like a piece of your bone.
And plus, we find out she's a raging alcoholic, so it could have been all part of this, self-destructive behavior that Professor Cyphers has.
She's cursed.
Yeah.
So Morris goes outside and he comes up to Janine. He starts putting on the moves, right? He's like trying to get with him, or with her, but Janine, she's not a fan. She calls him a douchebag. But he's still trying to impress her anyway. So he's like, I don't know why I did this. I stole a bracelet for you. And like,
I don't know why I did this. I caused 9/11 for you.
I thought it'd impress you. And she's like, hey, cut it out. That's stupid. But then kind of horny about it. I'm kind of horny about that.
He knew women like mummies.
She's surrounded by brainiacs all day long, and here's a bad boy. I get it.
So she agrees to not take it right back to the mummy, 10 feet away, because he's right outside of the building. She agrees to keep it on her for later. She's like, I won't tell anybody. We'll get down to some stuff later. And then she gets a big old smoocheroonie from Morris, and the dweebo is just creeping from because he followed him from inside, right? What's his name? Norman? Norman's in the bushes watching as the two of them mac out. Just like leaning out from the bush, just broad daylight, watching them kiss, and he disappears into the bush. And that is the end of my extremely exciting segment.
I got one coming up next. I was going to say, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If people are kissing around in public, I think I've got the right to watch them.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
So basically, I've got a short segment. So the professor's basically looking at scraps of paper through a magnifying glass in her office. And then Norman is busy uncovering the mummy in the dead of night. So he eerily paces around the dead body with his hands in the air, when suddenly the mummy slices through the bindings with its scimitar and looks deep into the nerd's eyes. With love, I believe.
It's not a scimitar.
It looked curved to me.
Not all just curved blades are scimitars.
I mean, it's curved.
So is Joe's weird wiener.
His short segment.
Does anybody know what it actually is?
Zach.
Does anybody know what the weapon actually is?
No.
No.
Some
I have no idea.
kind of weird knife. I have no idea.
I'm gonna try and
It's kind
figure
of like
it
a
out.
snook blade, the curved
Mummy knife.
But those are pocket knives. So I don't know.
Dagger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with dagger.
But what Joe described it correctly. That's all that happens. So Norman, we find out this is how we find out that Norman is more than just a dork. He's got nefarious purposes, and he's a bad guy, and he's got a connection to this mummy. And also he has painted fingernails, which must be part of, I don't know. But he just walks around the mummy. And he says something, but we don't hear it. We don't hear what he's saying. He mumbles a little bit and wiggles his hand in the air, and then boom, the mummy comes alive. It's so not exciting. Like that would have been the scene to get exciting and do some stuff and raise the mummy and have some suspense. But no, it moves its hand and then boom, cuts itself out of the bindings. It's like, that was not exciting.
Well, next up is a 7-minute scene where the professor looks around the grounds, and I timed it. It's 7 minutes exactly.
So long.
It's so bad. And this is where Ancient Evil lost me and never grabbed me again. It was this scene. I was kind of on board with the goofiness of it, but this scene made me so irritated. Plus the meds I was on, I was just like, oh, and I never was able to get invested again. I was distracted from then on out. It's such a laborious, long ass fucking wandering around the building scene.
Yep, around the building.
Yeah.
She looks near the beakers. She looks near the mummy. She even looks at the patio and just misses the mummy creeping outside near the bushes. She decides to break out the flask when Norman startles her. He tells the professor that he's been rifling through her desk and she got some of the glyphs wrong. Because he's the Aztec high priest boy. He reveals his evil plans for the mummy when she sees that it's up and moving, killing her before she can run. And that is 15 minutes of the movie done.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think this is accurate. Like, I'm trying, like, this isn't an Aztec weapon, because that's what I went to, because they say Aztec mummy.
Right.
But there's some things that, like, the Egyptians had a lot of curved blades, like sickle swords. And a khopesh. But this is like, it's a handle.
It's like more like half of a batleth. Is that the Klingon thing? The batleth?
Is it a batleth?
Yeah.
Oh yes, batleth. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's like it's like a big one.
Yeah, but just
like
like a
cut
little
in half.
handheld tiny one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We know everything here at Malevolent Movies. We'll find your ancient weapon.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should open this up to a broader discussion about the look of the mummy as a whole. Because
Did you have an issue with it?
I like his hair.
I thought it was great.
so it's The Mask. It's one of those movies where, taking everything else into consideration, the mask of the mummy looks so good that I gotta believe that it was just pulled off of a shelf somewhere. I feel like it's that situation. It's a thick mummy.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Big boy mummy.
They weren't getting like Doug Jones or nothing. They got like just whoever.
That's
to
the
be that
makeup
mummy.
guy. It's the makeup guy.
Yeah,
Name.
the Pan's Labyrinth man, who's
No, Joe.
Doug
no.
Jones.
That's
Yeah,
Doug
well,
Jones.
that's what I was
Yeah.
referring to. Yeah.
If you've put your eyes on a movie screen, you know who Doug Jones is at this point.
Yeah.
I'm saying
It ain't him.
The person in the mummy outfit is the guy who did the makeup under a
he?
different name. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's what it was. They're like, hey, you can also play the mummy, even though you're nowhere near desiccated.
No, he's
Imagine
I
how big
hated
the mummy was before it sat in the tomb
Yeah,
for
he
years.
was
This was like a
700
king.
pounds.
Yeah.
this was a luscious human being before
Oh,
being
yeah.
dried out.
Oh, when he sits up, he's got a beer belly. It's like, wait a minute.
That's why they mummified him. He was so big and bountiful. They wanted to preserve him for future generations to see.
Well, I just
We're
kept
gonna
telling
do that to
myself it
you.
was. I just told myself it's built up gas, and at some point it will go, and he'll be back to skeleton like he should be.
Well,
I was,
Mummy and Monster Squad.
Wikipedia is letting me know that the ancient Egyptians made at least 17 types of beer and at least 24 varieties of wine.
Oh, there you go.
I know it's an Aztec thing, but I'm done with the Aztec. This is Egyptian. It's everything else is Egyptian here.
Yeah.
Because I actually looked up what an Aztec mummy looks like, and it doesn't look like this.
No.
Well, the Aztecs look just like a white 19-year-old man.
Yeah.
As we'll come to find out, the
Yeah.
descendant of these mummies and these Aztecs.
I was gonna say, like, sometimes we like knock down some of these pyramids and we find some like ancient mummy honey goop and we can eat it. It's still good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Joe is referencing when the sarcophagus was found, wherever that was, when people were doing construction, and there was all this liquid in it, and there was the campaign, drink the mummy liquid. That's what Joe's referencing. We know what you're talking about, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was just referencing like whenever you find honey, it's like good for thousands of years, so you can eat it. Sometimes people do.
yeah.
Whatever you're finding in the
You don't
chair you're
eat
sitting
honey.
in, don't eat it.
Oh, whatever kind of
Okay.
is in there.
I'm only going to say this because Joe is wearing a red shirt and probably no pants, but he looks like Pooh Bear, and I can see him like climbing up a tree trying to get that delicious honey. Spelled wrong
bother.
on the jar.
I was going to say, Joe, do your best Pooh Bear voice.
Oh, bother.
That's pretty good.
Not
Thank
bad.
you, thank you.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Nice work.
Oh, bother, I just pre-cummed in my jeans.
Oh, he's got jars. He's got the jars all over
Yeah.
that say
Yeah.
coming on it, but
Oh,
spelled wrong.
Oh, bother, stuck in the fleshlight again.
Oh man, this is just more good
Oh,
shirt
my viewer
ideas.
is always so sad because he keeps
Draw
walking
it,
in on this
draw it,
shit.
Trevor. Draw it, please.
Oh, if you insist.
Animate it.
I don't know about that.
Sell it
Come
to
on.
Disney.
I know how to make it PG. Make it so I've got like a big honey stain on the front of my shirt.
No, Jaw Joe in a red shirt, but no pants, and you see his tiny little penis.
Mm.
Make it crooked.
Can
Make
do.
it crooked like the blade that we don't know the name of.
I don't know why this is so funny to
put
me.
a jewel in there while you're at it.
I'm not next, am I?
Norman is basically the descendant of a high priest, and a high priest can only command a servant, or I should say a servant can only follow a high priest, and the mummy was a servant. So there you go. And this kid entered the program because he knew the mummy would stop in this program, and that would be his chance to be alone with the mummy and raise the mummy. So he has been plotting this for a while, and that is why he's in this summer camp. All right. Let's see. So old Professor Cyphers is dead. We cut to Morris, Orlando, and Don. I think that was a music group. I don't know. Morris, Orlando, and Don are hanging out in their dorm, and Don comes out from showering. This is the closest this movie gets to any sort of nudity. It is Don standing having a conversation in his boxer briefs for quite a while. Morris is annoyed. All the guys are talking. Morris is annoyed that he can't go out and hook up with Janine because they've got a curfew. Don agrees that the curfew sucks. He says he wouldn't mind going out to a bar or a movie, and Morris says, or a strip club, because Morris, that's Morris. That's classic Morris.
Classy, very classy gentleman.
Don says that if the security drove by, they can't split, because if the security drives by and sees even one car is gone, they're all going to be kicked out of the program, expelled, and they've studied and worked too hard this summer for that to happen. Although they could go on foot, but town is 7 miles away, way too far to walk. So Morris devises a plan. He says, we can wait till Professor Cyphers goes home. Then we can walk over to the main compound, invite a bunch of people from the local college, and they can have a fucking kegger. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Orlando hems and haws a little bit, but then he's like, all right, I'll do it. I'll go, but only if we can convince the girls and Norman. By the way, where the hell is he? Cut to Norman. Norman's hanging out with the mummy, and they are placing the dead body of Professor Cyphers onto the table where the mummy was previously rotting. Norman folds her arms and covers her with a sheet so it looks like the mummy is still under the sheet. No one will be the wiser. We cut back to the fellas. Don says that Norman's probably not going to go along with the party plan, and instead will probably tell on Morris, since Morris is an asshole, gives him shit all the time. Morris then says, no. Norman and I, we have an understanding. He says, Norman is under and I am standing. Terrible line that the screenwriter probably thought was wonderful. Morris says, look, I'm going to split. I'm going to hook up with Janine. Orlando says, no, we should all go together. Morris says, no, I need to be alone. Hint, hint. I'm going to be with Janine. And then Don makes a joke about Morris probably needs a rag and some chloroform for Janine. Because how could Janine possibly like Morris? Well, Janine does like Morris. Morris leaves, saying he will contact them once he sees Professor Cyphers leave. We'll go find some booze. Where are they going to find fucking booze?
This is my favorite part of the movie. This heist.
Yeah.
This heist, they go for a flask of
it's
something
so
in a
weird
teacher's office.
That Morris is convinced that it's inconceivable to Morris that there won't be booze at this area. Like, he cannot fathom that there won't be a little bit of booze here, let alone he mentions a kegger earlier, so he expected to find a lot of booze here.
Oh, it would have been great if he went up to a drinking fountain, like, this has got to be whiskey, right? That's
water! I wish he would have chugged some formaldehyde and just keeled over.
What was the plan for the kegger, though? I just want to know... the context. He was
going to do a Craig stand, dude.
He's going to do a Craiger.
Mummies like booze, so they're going to be boozed by the mummy.
I just don't understand. Are they high school kids? Or is this a high school camp? What is this?
They're
confused.
Risking
Why is there
expulsion.
a curfew? How old are they?
Well, okay, I can tell you that
29.
Most of the cast is actually, Joe's right, 1980, 1978. But the whole time I'm like, something is off about Stacy. There's something off about, well, she's a decade older than them. She was fucking 40 when they made this movie.
She was 40. Huh?
Holy 40-year-old virgin.
Because Stacy.
This is the prequel.
I hated Janine, but Stacy was all right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hold on. My math is off. My math is off.
Are they supposed to be high school?
I apologize. They
are.
My bad. I was thinking this was 2009. It's 1999. Okay, everybody is in their 20s. She is 30.
Oh, okay.
Still. She's born in 69, shot in 99. Okay.
Yeah.
But still 10 years older than the rest
But
of them.
still,
So,
yeah.
But they definitely are in college because with the exception of Morris, they all are student. They've got majors. Like Don wants to be a paleontologist, and so this is just an extra credit thing for the summer that they were taking advantage of.
Now maybe I didn't take full advantage of the stuff at my college, but there was no mummy class I could sign up for that if I was caught awake after 9 p.m. I would get expelled.
And
I didn't see it.
They refer to the place that they're in multiple times as a compound.
Yes.
They can't leave the compound. They have to sneak around the compound.
That's weird.
Like it's
What
a
is
level
going on?
Like it's a level from GoldenEye on N64.
Yes. It's the Aztec.
Yeah.
Gotta disable the mines.
Gotta get the laser beam.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the director wrote this. Is that accurate? I don't know.
He co-wrote it, with his regular writer.
I'm assuming that they already had a location picked and in their minds like, just put compound. We'll fix it later. We'll call it the school. And they didn't do it.
What I don't understand though is like we already have the lightning at this point, right?
Yeah. The lightning started when the mummy woke.
Instead of saying like, oh no, we're going to get arrested and killed if we turn on the lights, just have the power go out.
Yeah.
Then there's the other reason you can't just call for your kegger to show up. Like there's a lot of things you could have solved by being like the lightning knocked out the power, but we're still raging. Like,
oh yeah,
it's so weird to be like
the lightning's too dangerous.
Yeah, right. We can't get out there.
There's no way we can get an Uber Eats out here.
Like also, so this movie, every actor we've been discussing or character, that's it. That's the movie.
Yeah, right.
The
with the exception of Scott.
Well, yeah, with Scott. But it's not like this movie would have been, in my mind, better because like everybody's concern is predicated upon Morris is fucking with a mummy and an amulet. Oh no, we're gonna get in trouble. We're gonna get kicked out of here. By who? Who is going to do this? And if so, how do I don't believe for a second this is going to be a major infraction. I think you're just going to get a slap on the wrist. But if Morris did have the kegger there and our nerd team was like, oh shit, we gotta kill this party, but it is kind of fun, but we gotta stop it before Professor Cyphers gets here with the fucking rent-a-cops.
The dean's coming.
But then they looked at the budget and they said, oh, we can't afford that. So
when I started to think that way, then I remember, oh yeah, this movie was made in 4 days in Spain by David DeCoteau. This is probably the fourth movie he made that year. So
this reference doesn't mean anything to anyone but Tyler, but this felt like a Ghostlies. This was them running around the house, just making up a thing, not really paying any mind to anything, but just do something.
I get the feeling that when they were putting this film together, they had a buddy who was like, he got his tripod out, he got his set design box out from his parents' attic, and he went and set stuff up. And they're like, "Oh, we're not ready yet. We're still writing it. Oh, we need the actors. Oh, he just sat there waiting for 2 months, and then everybody showed up, and he was like, "All right, you got 4 days." And then they did it.
Just say fuck a lot and be Scooby Doo.
Hey, you guys! I got a little rat. I made a little rat puppet. Do you think we can play it in there?
Yeah. Put it right up your butt. Right up your butt.
I would not enjoy that.
That was a genuine laugh out of Joe.
That would be pleasurable.
Did I catch you off guard, Joe?
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
No, it's good. I like making you laugh.
Doesn't it feel good to laugh, Joe?
Who resents you when you make him laugh? You give Joe pleasure, he resents you.
I'm a man of stone.
It's good for the soul, Joe. It's good for the heart.
Yeah.
It's like
Pump
chicken
your heart
soup
a little bit.
Yeah, your heart could use some work.
Oh yeah, for hours on end, and he's into it. But when you make him laugh, or you give him a compliment, or you say he's like, he gets a shitty sourpuss on him.
Yeah,
he's
done.
Old pickle puss Buckley.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I call you Pickle Boy. Then things in your butt. So all right, he tells him to go find some booze. Cut to Janine and Stacy hanging out in their dorm. Stacy asks Janine, "Hey, what are you so nervous about?" Janine says it's personal. Stacy says, "What? The not so fresh feeling?" Which I hated at first, but it pays off in a second. Janine confesses, "All right, Morris asked me out." And then Stacy says, "It is the not so fresh feeling." Of course, that's the catchphrase or the slogan from Massengill, which was a douche. So she's calling Morris a douche. And I appreciated that. It's the only somewhat fun piece of writing that they tried to, without straight up calling him a douche, she found a way. Then Janine defends Morris, kind of. She says he's sweet and stupid. Really stupid. Really, really, really stupid. He's stupid. She just keeps calling him stupid. In the meantime, the mummy is peering in at them through a window. So the mummy has found his way to their dorm. Janine then shows Stacy the amulet that Morris stole. Stacy says, that's not impressive. No wonder I'm still a virgin. And they have a little back and forth about how, yes, Stacy is indeed a virgin, which will come back kind of at the end of the movie. Stacy then tells Janine to go ahead and give her the amulet. She'll sneak into the main compound and put it back on the mummy before Professor Cyphers or anyone else finds it's missing. Otherwise, they're all going to get in big trouble. At that moment, Morris shows up unannounced, just walks in through the front door, which pisses Stacy off. And she says, don't you ever knock. And Morris, classic Morris, life's too fucking short. It's still opening. I'm going to door. I mean,
I just like to go into buildings.
He just, life's too fucking short. Instead of just saying, oh, sorry, my bad. Don't forget, he's trying to still get, hook up with Janine. And he's doing, everything in his power to turn Janine off. He's a douchebag in front of her and to her friends.
Mm-hmm.
But
Joe, I hope that you wrote notes during this, because you know how some people say, hey, just be yourself. Morris is a perfect example of why you shouldn't be yourself. And I know it works out for him. He gets the lady, but this is a work of fiction. So if that is yourself right there, don't be yourself when approaching a lady. Morris is trash.
Be anyone else.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like to give women presents. I present them with cicadas. Cicada season is coming up this year. I'm going to be set.
Well, unless you're trying to date a cat, nobody's going to impress with a cicada.
Okay.
No, cat will eat it up, but
we don't know.
They
that
like
he's not.
No, I would never date my kitties, my sweet babies.
You sweet poor children.
Yeah.
Nick, this is an interesting angle.
Yeah, we got the belly cam for Nick. What's going on here?
Oh yeah. What do you like that?
I mean, yeah, kind of, but I miss your face.
He was in. You're all dressed up for camp though.
Yeah.
You got your astronaut on.
I do.
I like that.
It's a coincidence.
Joe is too. He's dressed up as Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you just saying I'm big and red?
No, it's just the red. It was more about the
he's
red.
He's a sunburn.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the red.
He's the sunburn you get at space camp.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, life's too fucking short. Then Morris tells the girls about party plans. Stacy says, no, I'm not going to go. I'm actually going to sneak out and go to a movie with Scott. Scott, who we have not met yet. Morris and Janine then leave. Then the pair, they make their way to the main complex and they go in, and Janine asks, hey, why aren't we turning on the lights? Morris says, if we turn on all the lights, we're going to alert all the cops. They'll drive by, see the lights on the main compound. And she's like, yeah, it makes sense to me. It's my first breaking and entering. Although they didn't break in, the door was open. Then they make out for a little bit. Then they stop. Then they begin looking around. Morris informs Janine and us, the audience, that Professor Cyphers is a raging alcoholic, and one of the curators even told him that they saw her dipping into a huge liquor stash, and the mission tonight is to find that stash and, quote, drink the hell out of it. Morris has never had a drink in his life. He's never been to a party. This is the kind of talk you hear to somebody. This is what they think they're supposed to sound like, as opposed to their normal, we're going to drink the hell out of it.
This is like Ocean's 4.
I'm gonna get so wasted that I'm gonna take my pants off and fall down on the floor. It's gonna be so awesome, you guys.
What?
Yeah, I bet. Can't wait.
So, will you start eating weed gummies before these episodes again or something?
Wait, you want me to?
No.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Take a hit of that pen I saw you pocket a few minutes ago.
Whoa,
that was just a bic. He's just gonna get ink all over him.
No, it's not a bic.
What's the thing that makes you sleepy, Joe? Is sativa? That's what you need? We need you to zonk out.
Plastic bag.
Yeah.
Into couch. Oh boy, look at you.
I got some double rainbow. Nothing wrong with that. It's only $100 a hit.
I don't know what that means. $100 a hit. Oh, I don't care. I don't care about how you're spending your money. What's next, Ryan?
Yeah. It's the capsule I meant for the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Capsule.
That's a lot of plates of glass your dad had to lift for you to get high.
Tyler, how much is yours per hit?
Oh, it's I don't have a joke. It's a pen from a law firm. I don't have a joke.
This is a Stanley.
That's a good brand. That's a good brand.
I did hit one of these. My first vape experience, and I puked. I hit it quote too hard, is what I was told. And then, I was watching Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield.
Were you laughing so hard that you vomited?
No, I was feeling sick, so I wanted some comfort movie, and I put on Back to School because I ended up puking anyway.
Yeah, you got a little bit too high.
How hard I party.
Damn.
Joe Buckley's a harder partier than I am. All right, let's see. Let's get through this ancient scream. As Morris and Janine continue to search. Okay. Meanwhile, the mummy is roaming outside on his way to the compound. And as Morris and Janine continue to search for this booze, Norman pops out of the darkness. They don't see him, but Norman sees, there's some interlopers here in the compound. Morris and Janine finally discover Professor Cypher's office and find her flask on the floor, and it's covered in blood, which Morris recognizes. Yes, this is blood. He makes a joke about her having a bender and getting a nosebleed, but Janine's supposed to be smart Janine, who says that Morris is stupid. She's like, no, it's obviously paint. Paint?
She was doing Warhammers. She was just painting some minis.
She's painting her minis, yeah.
Yeah.
What's dumber, though? The idea that it's paint or the idea that she sprung a nose leak and was like, I gotta go. And then like so much blood and that she dropped her flask and left the room.
Well,
I've had it happen. Yeah, I've had it happen.
We've seen those videos where it's like a broken faucet. It's just,
it's gross.
Yeah, it's like the shining elevator. I mean, I have weak veins, and people have weak veins.
Remember the time?
Yeah, he did it. He started. He redded out the
shut
entire
the show.
camera.
But Joe wouldn't leave his pen
all over.
Joe wouldn't leave his
Joe wouldn't
vape,
leave his pen. No,
and I don't think this woman would have
years.
left her flask for a nosebleed.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
He stays in that.
Well, hey, maybe she's got dead drops all over this compound.
That could be. That
Little
could
hidden
be
flask here, sixer in the bathroom.
Yeah,
that
could be.
Black Christmas. She just like lifts up the toilet back. And
She's got a handle in the toilet.
Black Christmas.
Yeah.
We're almost done. Well, I'm almost done. So Morris and Janine, the paint. Janine. Okay, then this made me yell, and I think I stopped for a while because at this moment, Janine says, "What makes you think she has a secret stash anyway?" And Morris says, "Well, if you don't look, you'll never know." They just had this conversation. A curator said he saw her getting in a stash of alcohol. But it's like neither actor remembered. I don't understand that. It just
the same thing happens. Like this whole the two of them talking. There's I think another point in time where they do the same thing where they just repeat the same dialogue twice within the span of like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it just why are you looking for the stash? Because he just
because I think it's when he says he's gonna go inside to the cafeteria or something. He says like, I'm gonna go check the cafeteria, and she's like, no, don't check the cafeteria. And then they say like 2 more lines of dialogue, and then she's like, all right, I think you should go check the cafeteria. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go check the cafeteria. And it's just like something about that. It's very weird.
I feel like that's the last 30 minutes of this movie. They just keep like repeating the same things over and over again. Like I need to find the shoe. What was the other thing?
Yes.
I wrote
the shoe thing.
Whose shoe is that?
Yeah, I need to find the shoe. Our friends
that's Janine's
are fucking.
shoe. Well, it's
turn
not
on the
her
lights
shoe.
or the
It's my
cops will
shoe.
come. Just like over and over again. We get it.
They had no script supervisor on the movie, and they weren't looking at the dailies because they only had 4 days. So they're like, shit, did we say the thing about the shoe? Throw it in anyway. Yeah, just throw it in. Talk about the shoe again.
They might not have had a script.
Oh shit, we need a shoe reference. We need to get a shoe reference in here.
Yeah, throw the thing in there about the light, just in case we didn't have it in, just for good measure. Yeah, it's a safety. And then they left it all in anyway because they had only enough footage for an hour and 21 minutes.
What if people don't know the cops will come?
Well,
we'll say it again. Hey, Orlando, can you throw something in about the cops again? Thanks. And action. As Morris and Janine continue to wander around the compound, Janine says she hears something, and Morris takes that moment to put the flashlight under his chin and yell, "It's a killer Aztec mummy!" which really pisses Janine off. She slaps him, calls him a jerk, then unloads on him. She says, not only do I think you're a jerk, everyone thinks you're a jerk. And that is surprising news to Morris. Morris, who wanders around talking shit and arguing all the time, is surprised to hear that everyone thinks he's a jerk. But
I'm so cool.
Yeah, but Morris then says, well, sorry, I didn't mean to do it. It's just the sound of the central air. She apologized for hitting him. All is right in the world with the world. And they continue on the mighty booze search. And that is the end of my section.
We have not been emphasizing this enough. Shame on all of you. Lightning strikes for the 100th time.
Right.
So hard that it causes Joe to cough. Jesus, Joe! Lightning strikes! It's the curse of the mummy.
This is it. We're finally. God, sit up, Joe. Jesus Christ. I feel like I'm watching a snuff video.
Make it last.
This is the end.
This is a live leak.
I want to watch this for a long time.
Look at him. He passes out.
Joe, what was that? Drink something. Go get a glass of water.
Do you not have your mandarins and a champagne
Don't
flute?
drink Mountain Dew. Go get a glass of water.
No, I gotta drink the melon.
Is that the new Dew? Is that the
It's the new pink stuff.
Melon. I gotta say, they released.
I'm gonna refill my Baja.
There's the 2 new flavors. There's a pineapple and there's something else. I can't.
They're amazing.
I can't.
I like them.
I need to
Do
know.
it. Treat yourself. They're incredible.
I
Just have half of one. Share with somebody. Just share half a can.
Are you okay, Joe?
No, I'm fine. Oh yeah.
What
I'm all
was
good.
that?
I took a hit off my pen and I coughed a little.
Oh, Joe can't hang.
Yeah. What did I just tell you? You're gonna puke.
No.
You hit it too hard. You hit it too hard.
He flew too close to the sun.
Let me be an example. The old man hit it too hard and puked.
The wax is melting off my feathered wings.
Okay, so we were just with Morris and Janine. The mummy shows up when they leave the room. Lightning strikes. We're outside of the Shady Acres retirement home in Palm Springs, California, wherever this movie was set. We cut in to see Orlando playing with his ball. A baseball. Okay. Don enters the scene, and together they wonder aloud, where are Morris and Janine? Don hopes Morris will get expelled by Professor Cyphers when Stacy enters the room and asks when these 2 hunks will take care of their little friend. And in unison, Orlando and Don say, Morris. And then a riff from like fucking Saved by the Bell plays in the background. Stacy is upset because Morris has corrupted Janine and tried to give her a stolen ancient amulet. Orlando lets us know they are breaking into the main compound. The trio discusses the best way to deal with that pesky, and by they, I mean Morris and Janine are trying to break into the main compound. They discuss the best way to deal with that pesky and handsome and frustratingly charming Morris when Norm enters the room. Norm asks about the amulet Stacy's holding, and in the worst, my character is telling a lie that the audience should know, but not the other character's voice. He bullshits something about how he bumped into Morris and Janine on the way there, and they told Norm to get everyone because the main compound is open. Everyone is disappointingly impressed that Morris pulled off another hijink. Lightning strikes! And we're back with Morris and Janine, where Morris immediately lets us know that there ain't no damn booze around here, and he's very upset about that. He tells Janine to wait in the courtyard so he can go look in the kitchen, find booze, bang Janine at her place, and then probably dip out for some 4th meal. Janine stays behind.
Get that Baja.
Janine stays behind while Morris digs through a cabinet filled with what looks like cereal boxes for booze. But the mummy is slowly stalking towards Janine. Morris, who's apparently in a kitchen that is within earshot of Janine, so completely unnecessary for them to have separated, tells her, oh, hey, this might be a minute. While the mummy's just getting closer. It's just buying time for the mummy to get close enough to stab Janine in the back with her curved ancient dagger. Lightning strikes, and we're back with Norm and the trio. They assume the campus security, or they keep saying rent-a-cops, will show up at some point, but Stacy isn't convinced Morris and Janine are really there. Norm reassures Stacy that Morris should be inside the compound committing some kind of totally righteous and heinous act. Back to Morris, who re-enters the courtyard believing Janine bailed on him. Damn. Lightning strikes. Don decides that he and Norm will go in through the front, while Stacy and Orlando go in through the back, checking each room until they find Morris and Janine. Don tells Norm if they find Morris, he will hold him down so Norm can curb stomp his face into the gutter. Really, he just says so he can beat him up. But also, Don was being nice because Everybody's being nice to Norm because Morris is a dickhead. Cut to Orlando breaks into a door and Stacy is impressed. Or Orlando reveals he was bullied by children as a camp counselor. And when Stacy finds one of Janine's shoes that is actually hers that she lent her. They do little to no investigative work, assuming Morris and Janine must be getting busy. There's a beast with two backs reference, but oops. Cut to lightning, thunder, and one hell of a thick mummy prowling around the courtyard. We're back to Stacy and Orlando. A lot of 20 to 30 second scenes.
Oh, yeah.
I thought the mummy looked okay, but I think it might have just been because of like the low 240 resolution of the picture. I think if we were watching this on DVD or especially in theaters, that would not have looked good.
The production design of the mummy is fine.
Yeah,
it's just
the mummy,
I like the mummy. Yeah,
it's just he's just
too big.
thick. It's just mummies aren't thick usually.
And I was distracted by the piece of wrapping that was going across his lip that made him look like he had a handlebar mustache. And the whole time, I just keep thinking he looks like Hulk Hogan.
I was distracted by like his big butt cheeks just kind of poking a little bit out of the wrapping.
Yeah, his big fat ass clapping was distracting you.
Yeah, they were just bouncing back and forth like the tides coming in.
Joe just started singing ass and titties every time he saw the mummy. Ass and titties, ass and titties.
I just took a page out of Ryan's book. I really want to fuck this beast.
Fuck
you know,
Joe
that's
Buckley.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, so Stacy and Orlando enter just a room, any room, who cares? Stacy reveals she's afraid of the dark while holding Orlando's hands, and he barely reassures her they will be fine. Morris enters a room that Don and Norm are in. Morris calls Norm Eddie Munster. Norm, I guess, is he calls him Eddie Munster.
I totally miss that.
But I don't even get it because it's like, okay, he's not that tall.
He's like a child, maybe? I don't know.
He doesn't look like
Joe, who's Eddie Munster?
Oh, I thought he was the little boy. I thought he was the little vampire boy.
He's a wolf man, Joe.
Okay, no, I got the mix. I'm sorry. Okay.
But this kid, so and even then, Eddie Munster's not really that creepy, other than being a wolf boy. He's actually very. It's just a terrible reference.
I find him frightening. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that somebody maybe they were just fans of the Munsters, and it's like, oh, we could call him Eddie Munster.
Yeah.
Okay, Morris calls Norm Eddie Munster, and Don begins to lecture Morris about the cops, but Morris ain't having it because someone left the fucking door open, and that's what's gonna get them caught. But that doesn't matter because Morris remembers he wants some goddamn beer. But Don just pisses all over his parade and lectures Morris more. Don doesn't give a shit about Morris or his lack of interest in pursuing academia. He cares about that $1 million amulet. Where is it? We get a 30-second scene of Stacy and Orlando discussing spiders. It's not important. We're back to Don telling Morris he could go to jail, but Morris is just too cool to give a shit, and he tells them to bounce because he got to bang Janine. He leaves, causing Don, in a fit of rage, to slowly put his fist into his other hand, representing the immense amount of pain he wants to cause Morris. Orlando and Stacy do more Scooby-Doo bullshit. They run into Don and Norm. Orlando asks what's wrong, but Don says nothing, including even mentioning that Morris was just there. Stacy goes on about her shoes again. Whoa! What the fuck was that? Ryan,
sighting.
Ryan, are you?
I told you I have to like.
Are you sporting a ponytail?
Yeah, because I just got out of the shower before we started recording, and it tickled the back of my neck.
Ryan, you gotta see that majestic.
No,
I just recently finally pulled mine in a ponytail the other day, and it was strange.
I only do it when I'm at home or when I go walking. But I have a hat on. Because the hair on the back of my neck, one, I want to get some sun on my neck, and then two, but it's also
Ryan, you look like an adjunct professor at a beachside community college.
You look like that asshole from Good Will Hunting.
Yes. Yeah. Later on Oz. Yeah.
Talking about his Gordon Wood.
But the thing is, the hair, my bangs still aren't quite long enough because this haircut was not planned, and I had a hair. So as it's grown out, things have been uneven. So I can't pull it all the way back. I have the headphones pulling most of it back, but
wow.
Yeah, it's a wet little
majestic.
I think you were beautiful. I think your hair is nice, Ryan.
I don't think we were giving him a hard time. We all enjoyed
we
it.
were
Joe.
agreeing.
I understand.
Joe's just jumping in.
I clean my hair every day, Joe, and I condition.
I understand that. No, I understand soap. You go in the water.
I know what soap is.
Soap. I too. Soap.
Humans.
Mateys, we got some soap on board.
Is your parents buying off-brand soap called Soap for you?
I believe they
Soap
may
for
have once
boys.
or twice at the
For
Dollar
growing
General.
boys.
Do like to shop at the Dollar General?
Is there like a
There's
Buckley
no-
General store in Grand Ridge that all the Buckleys go to get their soap?
The Ridge.
Yeah, we got
Beef
taters and
jerky.
soap.
It's the 33-cent store.
Just soap and
Here's a-
shampoo.
Some hard candy that melted in the truck, so we've got it now.
God.
Oh, Joe
boys-
Buckley. I love that one simple fuck up from Joe Buckley's mouth.
It's a
So much.
well. It's a well of
Yeah.
comedy.
It just keeps giving.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm like the giving tree. I'm like full of leaves and shit, and people keep taking my apples.
I
Yeah.
can't
I'm
wait
just
till.
gonna
And one day
fall.
we're just gonna chop you in
Yeah, I
half.
know. That's what I
Yeah.
can't wait.
You're
for.
not a tree, dude. You're a bush.
You're a
Some
bush
weird
full of
stinky
thorns.
bush.
I ain't got no bush. I shave it off. I keep it away
There's
from
the
me.
Buckley bush.
Yeah,
I know.
and it's got those little berries on it you don't want your dog to eat.
Yeah, dingleberries.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, make your dog
Wow,
sick.
Joe.
Yeah, but they're shaped like testicles. They're shaped like testicles. You're saying they're in two little
No
pairs.
dingleberries. The Buckleys and dingleberries,
Uh-huh.
they don't fall
boy.
too far from the bush.
Well, they were
They
like
really
the,
don't.
the Hatfields and McCoys, the Buckleys and the Dingleberries.
Dingleberries.
Yeah.
You see, but what the
Battle of
Dingleberries
Grand
didn't
Ridge.
expect is that the Buckleys would just straight up go cannibalistic and eat them.
Oh yeah.
But which is
They
the
gobbled up
tradition
all the
around Christmas
dingleberries.
time is for the Buckleys to take their dingleberries from their gooch and hang on the tree.
We make little Christmas wreaths out of them to invite Papa
Wreaths!
Buck.
And that's where we get the term.
Oh man.
Joe is dying right now as he says "reeds." That was his fun word.
I just want to get redder.
He's like a bellows. He's squeezing all the air out of him.
Joe starts fully inflated at the top of the episode. He just keeps
Yes. Oh my God. Look at
Okay.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Then what happens?
Orlando and Stacy are doing some Scooby-Doo bullshit. They run into Don and Norm. Orlando asks what's wrong, but Don says nothing. He doesn't even mention that Morse was just there. I did the whole bit already. Yeah, okay. Blah, 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 blah. Stacy implies that, she doesn't imply, she just says that her theory is that Morris and Jean are fucking. And Don decides to chime in with 200% smarm that they found Morris and he was in rare form tonight. That Morris. Norm thinks they should go back to the dorm too, but Stacy doesn't want to see sex. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that'd be gross.
Lightning strikes. We see Morris walking back to the dorms, looking over his shoulder. Lightning strikes. Orlando wants to turn the lights on, but Don doesn't want to because they could get busted. Stacy has a date, but oh no, she's late. But maybe her boy toy Scott is late too. Don thinks he is late because Scott is always late. Stacy wants to call him. Don says they should go to Cypher's office to make the call. Stacy says, "Why do you want to go?" And he says, "Because I might just call the cops on Morris." Orlando says he will stay with Norm while they track down Captain Beer Bong. Norm looks at Orlando like he has things he wants to say, but he can't find the courage. And I'm out.
Anyway, it's right after that, Norman and Orlando get super close face to face, like they're gonna kiss. It's not really what's gonna happen, but that's what it looked like.
Like, I wish they had played up Norm more. Like, I wish,
Yeah.
first of all, add the rent-a-cops or whatever so the mummy just has more people to kill. But also, like, every time that the mummy's killing somebody, just, I want to show me Norm just like, writhing in the rain outside.
Yeah, he just gets an erection. He gets an erection every time the mummy kills.
I mean,
Because the blood's rushing to the mummy.
I'm sure.
They blew their load so early in the movie, revealing him as the guy. It's
so
just
weird that it's
weird
like 20
choice.
minutes in.
Yeah,
I would have liked Morris. What if they would have built the movie and Morris ended up being, because that'd have been the last one you expect.
Mm-hmm. Like Norm is some wannabe.
Yeah.
He's some dork who studied up on it. Oh, my dad told me all about him.
Yeah.
But then at the
We
last
can defeat
minute,
the mummy if we pull on his feet hard enough.
that's
'Cause
right. At
then-
the last minute, Morris is the one with the even curvier blade
And it-
sheathed in his shirt. Because I don't know something. I don't know.
You wouldn't have seen it coming, and then it would have explained why Morris is in this stupid program and why he was going so hard about I hate this stuff. And then earlier when Janine said something about I think this is all an act anyway, it all could have paid off if you would have made the least likely suspect the bad guy.
Yeah,
but that's not what they did. 4 days.
What if you realized, Tyler?
Oh, okay. Wait, who's next up in this thing? Because they have to reveal their movie. Is it you, Ryan?
No,
ours is the next movie.
Okay, because I was like, oh no, I don't know if Joe and Nick had picked yet. So
we got.
I just got a big spook. I almost dumped. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, so Morris, that's our jock dude, right?
He's going into the house.
He's going into the house, and he gets excited because he hears that shower running. He thinks he's about to. He thinks he could see a naked lady, but he doesn't bother. So he just gets into bed and just he makes a lot. He talks a lot about it. Talks a lot about liking soapy naked ladies, and then he's just like, "But I don't feel like it. I'll wait for you in bed." And then
I thought life was too short. I thought life was too short, Morris. He did this on his opportunity, and
he's tired. And it sets up like the longest, just most drawn out, just nonsense. Anyway, so he gets into bed, and then we look into the bathroom, and we see that, she's dead. We see her arm flop out of the bathtub, covered in blood, and then we see a zombie a mummy.
But why did the mummy turn on the shower?
Right.
Why would a
I
mummy?
didn't know what a shower was.
Yeah. Why would a mummy do that? I don't understand that part.
Does not have any control over this mummy. Can he mind meld with it?
I think they mention it, but it's never stated how explicit.
I think when he blacks out at that one point, I was like, oh, is he controlling the mummy? So his consciousness is inside the mummy, and that's why he blacks out. But I don't think so.
Well, is Norm cross-eyed quite a bit?
Yeah,
because
he's got buckly eye.
I couldn't tell if is that a character choice or is that just the way that actor looks?
Might have been a dumb actor.
I don't think it was a character choice. That's the worst character choice ever. Yeah, I'm gonna give myself eye strain and not be able to see in scenes.
Well, I don't know if it's like in The Thing. They shine the light in the actor's eyes to let you know if they're still human or not. But in this movie, whenever Norm's linked up with the mummy, he goes cross-eyed.
Well, maybe he's from the Buckley School of Acting. We all know when Joe's turning on a character physically, that's all it is. He just crosses his eyes.
That's only my dumb characters.
That's your
that's all of them, though, bud.
Let's see your Harvard professor.
Yeah, we gotta learn about the math today, guys.
Thank you, Professor Buckley. Thank you for coming in here today. Oh no, Ryan's fired up.
Hold on a minute.
What?
You were the Norman character in the Mummy movie that a number of us worked on. I don't know if it was the title,
yeah.
Was a jock character who was commanding an army of mummies.
That had a better reveal.
Yeah, it did.
I've got that. We could just stick it somewhere.
You can stick it wherever you like, Joe. I've got
where
it
the
too.
sun don't shine. Yeah,
shove it
where it don't shine. That's right.
Anyway, back in the office, half of the Scooby gang is looking through. I guess they went in there to look for the phone, but they say that Morris tore the place apart. Just blaming everything on Morris, which I guess makes sense because he's a piece of shit. But whatever. They find pictures of an excavation in Mexico, and then they try to make a phone call, and they say that the phone always goes out. But why do they know that? Why do they know that the phone always goes out in this particular person's office? That's weird. Anyway, so
you didn't know about all of your professors' phones when related to the weather.
I had them tapped. I had them tapped.
So you can't get the email on their phone.
Yeah. Back at Morris's dorm, he's saying something about coming. He makes some gratuitous remark about coming. While being completely
I don't mind if you come early, but I want to just last the cum.
What?
It was exactly like that. It was exactly verbatim.
You want to
that.
last the cum?
I want to last the cum.
No,
What does that mean? Last
That's what
the
you mean
cum?
by that.
Yo, I just listened to this like 10 minutes ago. That's exactly not what they say. But
Okay,
No,
I'm
not even
sorry. I may have been
close.
mistaken.
He,
What are you
he
talking
said
about
something about
last-
how like her.
He
The
says
longer it takes for you to come
the
out
longer
here,
you
the
to come,
quicker
the
it's
quicker
gonna.
I
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
Last the
Come.
cum. Last.
Yeah. I'm blasting.
Yeah, you're like some Shakespearean pig character. Last the cum, madam. Last the cum.
Yeah. Oh, that Juliet that got busting you.
I love it. What's the fucking old timey play where the dude with the big nose is behind the bush saying the nice stuff to the handsome guy?
Yeah.
Okay, what if it was the opposite, where the handsome dude's in the bush, not even talking, and Joe's just there screaming at some woman on a balcony?
Yeah. Yeah, you're as pretty as the autumn leaves, lady.
Last the cum.
I don't want Joe to wear one of those neck. I don't know what you call the frilly. It looks like a frilly collar neck thing.
Yeah, whatever that is.
I got one for him.
Okay.
Yeah, but the rest of his clothes are normal. But I just wanted to wear that.
Jeez.
Yes. Can Trevor get on it? Draw his face with the Shakespearean bullshit and put "last the
No
cum"
worries.
underneath
Okay,
it.
but still making Woody the Pooh.
Yeah, I drew a new Joe face that I feel like is going to get a lot of mileage with this. I'm very excited.
Anyway, so he's about he's about to bust, but he still doesn't open his eyes to notice that there's a rotting mummy standing over him for like 10 minutes.
He doesn't want to see your boobies,
He does not give a shit about seeing this naked lady.
I don't know that mummies do stink.
I think there'd be a stink, and here's why. Because when he took the amulet off, all I wanted them to do was smell it, because that's what I would have done.
But I feel like maybe like it's like mummies have lasted so long they don't have stink anymore.
Well,
But then again, this thick decomposing mummy definitely stinks.
Well, didn't they use though like herbs and shit?
Yeah.
Like the
It's what
onions and stuff.
When it's
So that might have been
reacting with the humidity, it's gonna start to stink.
I bet it's very similar to Nesquik, I bet. Like a little cocoa powdery smell, very dry, but just like that otherwise.
Dust.
Yes.
A dusty smell.
With a little cocoa powder.
He's not walking around without little flakes flying off.
No, and his gait is very laborious. I mean, he's making noise when he steps. He's not fleet of foot, this mummy.
Not a subtle mummy.
No. When
That's
that mummy walks in a room, you're like, fuck, there's a mummy here. You know,
the most terrifying creature of all time, subtle mummy.
Well, he's not going to bother to look at that subtle mummy. Not even before he turns.
He tips back his top hat, and there's just a little layer of cloth you can see on the head.
That's how you know he's a mummy.
Yeah, that's how he's a subtle mummy.
Yeah.
It's the mummy virus. We slowly start to see bandages appearing on it ourselves.
Well, it's like the Santa Claus, but turning into a mummy.
Anyway, he finally turns on the light and goes, "Oh!" And then he gets chopped up. And at this point is when we start to see what's his name?
Normand?
Norman. Yes.
Norman T at the end of his fucking name. Normand is not a name.
That's a candy bar or something. That's not a person.
Normint. I want the
Normint.
Normint.
Normant.
He gets chopped up. Normant starts convulsing as if there's something somewhere happening.
Well, is that when so and so is getting slashed?
Yes,
sorry.
Which leads me to believe that he is not actually commanding the mummy. The mummy is doing its own thing because it's like he doesn't even realize that it happened. He's so taken off guard.
It went rogue.
Yeah.
No, don't you dare! Don't you dare!
What?
Illegal.
Nothing wrong with that.
Illegal.
Absolutely not.
Don't you dare! I saw it the moment you reached for it. Don't you
do
dare!
it, or the cops will show up and we'll all get expelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna throw me out of my dorm. I won't be able to just look at porn all day anymore and sit and not study.
Right. Someone's going to someday.
Yeah.
He plays it off to Orlando as if he gets dizzy spells. Meanwhile, Velma and Fred, I don't know his name.
Don.
They're Don.
Angry Don.
Yeah, they're in the office. They see some translations that the professor had done. Says something spooky about the end of the world and a virgin sacrifice and blah blah blah. To which she again, it's a huge reveal. Velma's a virgin. What?
No way!
Oh
You mean you've never had dick inside you?
The echo, or is that just me?
It's just
There's
Joe's
an
in your
echo.
head, dude.
God.
It was all the air getting sucked out of the room.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all this pseudo.
it's like the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
Like
Just those big giant ducks in Brazil.
it's like the every time Joe comes into a conversation, it's like the end of Alien Resurrection, where the alien's getting sucked out of the little hole.
Yeah,
window.
just a little tiny, one little Joe joke is enough to suck all the air. And
That's
come
right.
on now,
Right.
Yeah,
dude.
I
no,
love
that's
this.
exactly what Nick was just illustrating. But you were busy talking about ducks in Brazil. You see how Nick's joke
I
made
wanted
everybody
to
laugh.
expand on it. I
Nick's
wanted to
joke-
laugh.
you just
Carry on my
explained
joke.
it.
Nick's joke made everybody laugh, and you're over here going, "Oh, no one laughed at my duck joke. I better talk again." Maybe that's why. Maybe my mic's not on, but it is, Joe.
Maybe they can't hear me.
This thing on?
Yes and. I don't know, but yes and.
Lord.
No.
Yes, and Joe means
You
you
yes
add-
and did again.
We yelled at you about this on one of the Man with No Brains when I said that you and Tad doing the baby bird, and then you had to explain what the you did.
Yes,
you,
yes.
All I wanted to do was make sure the audience was well informed. I wanted to make
Yes,
sure
that was
they did it.
that was
That's
the
what Joe's
carnival
playing.
episode. That was the one that
Yes.
just came out.
Yeah.
Quit Joe splaining. Respect
Yeah.
the audience and quit Joe
Joe-
splaining.
Part of reading the audience is listening to the audience. That's part of the comedy.
I read the comments at the very least.
Don't treat them with such disregard and
least.
disrespect.
Don't assume they don't know what you're talking about. Quit Joe splaining.
He's
It's
Joe
all I'm
spreading
good
right
for.
now.
It's
I guarantee it.
I'm Joe spreading.
Yeah, I guarantee it. See?
Oh, God.
Look,
Jesus Christ.
I can practically see the roof of your mouth from your behind.
I'm just getting comfy.
It's a
You
straight
clearly are. I hate this.
Oh my lord.
See, now
This
Joe,
is like a
Joe
nightmare
lighting
I
us.
had.
Is your shirt
feel
tucked in?
Joe lighting.
No.
No, it's stuck under his belly.
Oh, there
Stuck
it
under
is.
the Show us your belly button right now.
Please
Do it.
don't.
Do it. Fucking do it. Get it over with.
I would never.
Your belly
Look at
button's been
him.
threatening me this
What
entire
a
episode. Just get it
specimen.
done.
It has been an hour and 37 minutes. I have not seen Joe's head come up from the back of that chair. Nope. It's like
It's
it's like he's.
to it.
I am convinced that there is an arm coming through the back of that was operating him like a puppet.
I can finally
can't
get
get up.
comfy in the podcast.
You
I can
Joe
finally
could get
get
up if you
comfy.
wanted to right now.
It's not a
No, I'm a
coincidence
little
that
bit
Jim
stuck.
Henson passed roughly about the same time Joe was born. This is all an Andy Kaufman
Oh,
bit by Jim
God.
Henson.
I'm like Yoda. I'm all green. I ooze milk out of my breasts.
Jim
Stop it.
Henson,
What
Yoda.
does Yoda?
He did Yoda. He did Yoda.
No, Frank Oz, you piece of shit.
Okay.
You piece of trash.
Fuck you.
Also, I'm going to throw
5
in
minute
there-
mute. 5 minute
there-
mute of Joe.
Yeah, mute him because I'm going to talk shit. There is no sock bottom on this earth that is dirtier than the sock bottom of Joe Buckley. I just
He's
saw.
laughing. He's laughing right now.
I just saw it. The bottom of his
Sock-
sock are as dirty
Sock
as
bottom
ever-
boys.
Yeah.
Sock bottom
Okay.
boys.
Joe, if you have a hole in your sock right now, you have to show us the hole. Oh, come on. You've got a hole in one of those socks.
Show us your socks,
Prove
boy.
it.
Okay, I'm bringing you back. I'm bringing you back in.
All right.
You have to unmute yourself, Joe.
I'm gonna have a hernia.
Okay. Now I can finally get a word in edgewise.
Oh, Jesus.
I
This
don't.
fucking guy.
I don't believe I have holes in the bottom of my shock. I will.
Shock and show.
Holes in the bottom of my sock.
Wait a second. I'll take a look myself.
Where am I living right now?
Joe buys those socks
Look it, look it.
65 for $1.
Okay, you got 2 socks. You got 2 feet, boy.
Look at the pattern. You can see his weight
Show us
distribution.
the other one.
Pattern.
Nope. Show us the bottom of that foot.
It's good. It's good.
If you had any idea what kind of waste and dirt and filth went into that sock.
Jesus, Joe. You're like a junkyard dog.
Think of the loyalty. Think about how loyal a junkyard dog is.
The crazy thing about this is when these episodes drop, they're all going to probably drop at the same time. So 2 episodes ago, we're all screaming at you for 10 minutes for not watching the movie. And then here we are laughing at you for throwing cans on the floor in your bedroom and showing us your socks and crotch.
Oh my God.
This is a mess.
Why is this happening? Why is my segment the longest?
Because
Okay.
Joe's sucking the air out.
Yes, I can't breathe.
I would argue he did force the air back into the room, but not of his own.
It was a gas.
It wasn't gas.
Anyway,
Oh my God.
Orlando, he offers, I can't remember, to help Norman take a shit or something. I don't know what I wrote. Norman has to go take a shit. Back at the so Orlando goes back to the dorm looking for Norman to take a shit. And he's not there. He goes over to Morris's dorm and finds some corpses right before being torn to pieces by the little dagger. Anyway, so the mummy is, I think this is when they're back at the laboratory in the kitchen. The mummy picks up the body to move it. I don't remember why. Velma screams for Scott outside, and by Velma I mean what's her name?
Stacy.
Stacy.
Left. She's only.
Yeah. So Stacy is screaming for Scott, who we've not seen yet. Scott shows up. And just to describe that he saw a Chevy Nova, and that was the most absurd thing the most suspicious thing he could think of. I saw a Chevy Nova back there.
My first car was a Chevy Nova, 1986 Chevy Nova.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, then you are probably a dead professor, because that's what the dead professor drives. And as soon as Scott came into this world, he was pulled out of it because he is brutally murdered from behind by the mummy as well. At which point, here's Norman, and that's all I got. Norman shows up, and he is dressed to the nines in something stupid.
A little bit shirtless.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard at this.
Sans glasses.
It took me so long to realize. I kept thinking it was Don. Until like the light, you can see his blonde hair, but I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at?
I thought it was Hayden Christensen in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
he's overly critical. The mummy. The
mummy's all coarse. He gets everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Fine, I'll let it pass.
That was good.
I slaughter them like mummies.
And not just the men,
I hate them.
But the mummies and the mummies as well.
Children too.
I thought we'd never come up from the outer sea mummies.
Oh boy. So anyway,
someone take this home, please.
I gotcha. It's me. So Hayden Christensen shows up. He's got his leather print sequined cape and his chain.
He's got like an open shirt.
Is a full-blooded Aztec descendant.
Yes, Aztec warrior, this whitest man on earth.
It was from the Aztec section at Hot Topic.
Yeah, that's funny.
Appropriate.
Norman shows up in his new gear. Stacy pleads with him, not to kill me too, and he reassures, I can't quite kill you yet, but he can't have his servant cut off her legs. He says he just needs her living blood. Then the mummy just kind of knocks her out and carries her back to the museum. Then we get Don back in the house, looking around with a flashlight, even though it's really not that dark.
They constantly allude to how dark it is in here, and I know it's supposed to be dark for them, and we have to be able to see it, but like the lighting does not convey how dark it is for our actors. I don't think
it's just blue.
Yeah,
and the camera is tilted.
Yeah,
so often the lightning is lighting everything up.
Yeah,
I mean, practically the sun.
Yeah. And we get a couple of shots of Norman leading the mummy, carrying Stacy. back into their kind of the main area, and they drop her on the altar and just fucking leave. Don is still looking for Morris, and Janine is shouting, "Hey, this isn't funny. Come on, man, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you." And this is all in this like weird like seminar classroom sunroom greenhouse something
atrium. Yeah.
Oh, the auditorium with the 8 folding chairs.
Yeah. The auditorium where the birds shit.
Yes.
And there's a whiteboard with writing on it. I mean, it looks like it's a.
And he stops and thinks that he like hears or sees Morris behind either the podium or this like wheelie chalkboard thing, but he doesn't move to go fucking look behind it. He's just yelling, "You're gonna get your ass kicked. I'm gonna beat the hell out of you." And then he does that like 2 more times with different things, and he eventually walks over behind the podium and looks, and there's nobody there.
Yeah, Don has some anger inside of him.
Yeah.
The movie starts out, he's kind of just a nice guy. And he has that line earlier, like, "I'd just like to go to the movies or a bar, But as the movie progresses and he gets more frustrated and the stress level gets higher, he's so fucking pissed all the time. And he's always threatening people and getting in their face. He's got a dark side, that Don. And he's not going to exercise those demons playing around with dinosaur bones. He needs to find something else.
Just smashing up a Triceratops because you had a bad day.
And he's going to kick down the entire T-Rex one day, and he's going to lose his tenure.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh boy. So yeah, he looks around the room a few more times. Doesn't really know what to do. He heads for the door, and it's like this door with like a bunch of like windows in it. And he moves over there, and then Norman appears on the other side of the door and scares the shit out of him. Don asks Norman, he says something about his clothes, and says, he's like, "Why?" Well, I forget what he says exactly, but like, "Why? What's with the new getup?" And Norman says that he needs to, or before a sacrifice to Tlaloc, which is this wind or storm god, rain god, whatever, the Aztec high priest must dress accordingly. He says sometimes they'd even wear the skin or bones of others. Pain is always a part of the ritual, he says. Don tries to bargain with him, says, "You're losing it." To which he snaps back, "It's the end of the world, Don, and it's time for you to die." Norman locks him in the room, and the mummy's in there, apparently. We didn't see him earlier. And these two start to fight. And it is an interesting fight. But before anything too interesting can happen, we cut back to the altar. Don is there. He's got some sandals on. He's got something around his knees. He's wearing some loincloth looking thing.
He looks incredible.
He's got a weird
beach towel.
He has a beach towel. And he goes back over to her and now starts to tie her up. This has been a good, I'd say in movie time, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He walked over there, threatened Don, set the mummy on him, leisurely walked back to like, "Why didn't you guys do this immediately?" And we see the whole fucking thing. We see him walk up to her, pull out the string or the wrappings or whatever, do the whole thing around both of her arms, wraps it around like 5 or 6 times, connects it to the desk. We got back. Like, this is like, oh, we're really stretching to hit this like 87 minutes or whatever. Then we go back to the fight, and Don is like, something's up with his leg. I guess his leg doesn't work. He's scooting back from the mummy.
Yeah, that's the curse.
Yeah, there it is, I guess. That's pretty much it, because then we're back to Norm and Stacy again.
Every time you cut back, they're just like, it's just a grappling match. Like, it's just, he's stopping the mummy from stabbing him. The mummy wants to stab him, and it's just that. Every time.
And this is the fucking guy. Don was the fucking guy that was really going to beat up Morris, and he's struggling with Norman.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, dude, thank God Morris was just more interested in getting laid than actually fighting, because he would have been a grease spot on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't even, topple over the Hayden Christensen.
Yeah. And if you're thinking, what about Stacy's feet? Shouldn't they tie those up too? Don't worry, guys, because we're gonna see him do the same fucking thing to her feet. It takes another like 30 to 45 seconds.
I technically didn't mind that shot. I thought that was an okay use of the mise-en-scene.
You fucking creep. Yeah, whatever. And then we come back to the fight again, and Norman looks like, or not Norman. What the fuck, Don. He's doing this thing again where like he's not using his legs at all. Like his legs are barely moving, and he's trying to crawl away from the mummy. Oh my god! And the mummy's just like kind of boom, 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 coming after him real slow. And that again, that's like a 30-second shot of him just going, oh geez, trying to get away, and then we go back to this fucking ritual again. He goes over, Norman takes his cape off, and he goes, shakes it all out, and puts his hands over Stacy, and just kind of stands there and channels some magic. I don't know. Then we go back to the fight again. And now Don is on his feet for about a good 5-10 seconds before the mummy manages to get him by the throat. Starts to lift him up, Darth Vader style. More cutting between this lame-ass fight and this lame-ass ritual where Norman is just sort of like heavily breathing, almost like hyperventilating over Stacy's body. Mummy chokes him a few more times. I mean, we cut back 5-6 times at this point. Nothing's happening until Don somehow manages to get up enough gumption, musters the strength, and punches the mummy right in the gut. And that knocks Norman off a little bit. We go back to him, and he's, oh my gosh, he's out of his weird trance. But that's not going to stop him. He just kind of takes a breath and starts it up again. Lots more cutting, and Don is got like his hand stuck in the mummy, it looks like. I was hoping he was going to pull out some dusty old heart or some shit.
Oh, that'd been wonderful.
Some scarabs.
Just something, some scarabs, or like a horny heart like in Demon's Rook. Just something.
Yeah, give me the horny heart.
Give me that horny, gross heart. But nothing like that. No, mummy just pushes him back. He falls on his ass. Norman is like knocked out of the trance again for a split second. And Don manages to like juke his way out behind this guy, behind the mummy. He starts to run away. Yes. He gets around the mummy and makes it through the door and shuts the door, locks it behind him. Norman stops what he's doing and goes to the other side of the altar and starts doing the same thing again. I don't know if this has anything to do with the ritual. He's not really chanting anything. There's no vials. He's just standing over her. This is like the lamest ritual where nothing happens. The mummy's stuck in the room. We see that he's stuck in the room. He picks up his weird knife and he just walks off screen. But now we catch back up with Don and we find out that he is outside. Excuse me. Where are my notes here? Oh yeah, he's outside, and that's it for a second. He like kind of checks himself. He's got like a cut on his arm or something. And then Norman summons the mummy back to him, and I guess gets him out of this locked room.
I think he just goes back around the other way.
Yeah, because I think that what's his name locked himself outside. Don did, right?
Okay, yes, that's right. That makes sense. So now we get the mummy there at the altar with his knife. He's kind of holding it out for him. Yeah. The mummy's marrying this virgin. And then he starts. Now is when Norman.
Joe, when to be a mummy?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. I'm already kind of dusty.
No, you met the mummy. Forget it.
Oh, and when Don is outside, is this where he's? Oh yeah, this is we cut back to Don outside, and his teeth are looking gigantic in this shot. Like I don't know what it is about this one shot.
He's a toothy guy.
He's a toothy motherfucker, and he finally puts together that they need a virgin.
What's up, mommy? You got a virgin?
Basically is, but that would lead them back home, kind of a thing. And he runs off screen. Runs off screen, and Stacy has been awoken at this point. And she's begging to Norman, you can stop this. You don't have to do this. Norman's going on about rivers of blood. He's killed 40 babies or some shit. I couldn't understand exactly what he said, but yeah, he's in fully. And she tries to reason with him, like, you're not Tlaylock, you're just a boy, you're just someone with feelings.
Yeah, that was like the line, you're just someone with feelings.
Feelings. And he whines about, when I had feelings, you didn't care. You all picked on me, ignored me because I wasn't like Don or could talk like Orlando. You didn't show me mercy, so why should I?
It's so weird because like he chooses this hill to die on that everyone was mean to him, but like Orlando was like extremely nice to him, and he let his mummy slice and dice Orlando anyway. So I don't understand why it wasn't Orlando at the end of the movie instead of Don.
And why does he care why does Norman care how they treat him anyway? It was all a ruse. It was all fake.
Right. Yeah.
His hitting on Stacy was even fake because he knew that she was a virgin somehow. For him to even care about all this, it was all a game. He was this high priest of Tlaylock. Why does he, he doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
He still has feelings, though,
He's a boy with feelings.
You're breaking my heart.
From my point of view, he is the enemy.
From my point of view, you are the leader of Tlaylock. It's too late. It's too late, Norman. I am the high sarcophagus.
Oh boy!
Good.
Listen,
that's
Revenge of the Sith, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking maybe like some kind of D-Day movie or something like
No,
that. Like maybe
no,
Saving
Joe,
Private
you
Ryan.
Joe, you can't do the bit where you pretend like you haven't seen it. We know you've seen it. I watched it with you.
Also,
Me,
why
you,
didn't you
and Tyler.
choose a movie
And I think Nick
that has
maybe?
to do with mummies? Like you could have said The Mummy because then it would have made more sense with the high ground thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why the D-Day thing.
I liked Brendan Fraser before he went bald.
He's not.
He's not bald.
He looks gross now.
Really? You're the one who has to say that?
No, if you look at Brendan Fraser today,
I'm looking at you
gross.
right now,
Yes,
and I'm just saying.
Joe, Brendan Fraser doesn't look great. Okay, that's what happens when you age.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Also,
he's not bald because he's not been put in any big action movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's living a normal life.
I think all his money ran out.
What are you basing this on?
I read something about him. He was missing all his hair.
Internet.
Yeah. Okay. So Joe, did fucking Marlon Brando run out of money, and that's why he looked like a blob? That's just what happens to celebrities. The more they lose their money, the more gross they get. Is that why you like that? Is that because you're broke
Buying islands and shit.
I read an article about this man. I don't know if the information's correct or not.
Article. Okay.
I want a nice bucket on my head. Okay.
Listen here.
I'm so hot right now.
He was a great actor.
Put some Mountain Dew in it, okay? Can we shrink Tad so Tad's real small and he can wear the same outfit as me and he can sit on my shoulder and I can kiss him?
Yeah. No. Hey, director. I'm not gonna learn any of my lines. So just like put him next to this guy's back, please.
Yeah, we know. That's why I did the bit about Marlon Brando. We know.
Yes.
You did a whole bit about it.
Yeah, welcome to Godfather, Joe.
Didn't you hear his nice impression there, Joe?
It was good. It was a good
Let's hear
impression.
your Marlon Brando, Joe.
Yeah, do Marlon Brando.
I keep coming on my back.
Got a Tuscan Raider in here with us.
I keep making cum on my back. I'm Marlon Brando.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
That mean?
What is the joke?
Joe.
What is the joke? Because you've said it like 3 times in relation to Marlon. Has Marlon Brando had cum on his back?
I don't believe so. No, it was just something. It was a little story I brewed up for my comedic mind. It was a little.
It was really good. You did
From
a
my
great
comedic
job.
mind, man.
From the comedic mind of Jeffrey Dunham. I've got all these fucked up, wacky puppets who just spout voices off.
That would put me in an early grave of satisfaction is to find out that you've been stealing jokes from Jeff Dunham this whole time.
I'm sure.
All of the blue collar comedians Joe's just been ripping off.
Mm-hmm.
Joe starts saying "get her done" next episode.
Here's your sign, Joe. All right.
Did you eat the chicken from underneath your couch? You might be a Buckley.
Oh no.
If your dog don't look like your wife anymore, that might actually be your wife.
Are your words backwards? You might be a Buckley.
No.
Are you putting an SH sound in front of words that start with an S? You might be a Buckley.
Well, yeah.
he ran out.
That's Joe's
ran out.
catchphrase.
Yeah, that's my new one.
That's Joe's death rattle.
Oh God.
Oh, sorry, Trevor. Sorry. This could have been one of the early or the shortest episodes we've had.
I thought it was going
It still
to be.
can be.
I was gonna say.
Okay.
We're not
okay.
far
Yeah,
away.
we still got like over an hour to make it a
Yeah,
short
we're
one.
still
It's
good.
fine.
We're not at sickness house numbers yet.
Yeah. Oh, Christ alive. See, and here I thought we were gonna have nothing to talk about because not much happens in this movie. But look at us.
Yeah, look at us go.
Look at all this good fun we're having. All right. So anyway, Norman's being a real bitch about I used to let you didn't show me mercy, so why should I not like murder you? But then she says, I did like you. Okay, but it's too late. He says, come forth my hand and draw the blood of this virgin. But don't worry, Don rushes in and argues with Norman. It's over. No sacrifice. Norman talks a huge game about it being the end of the world, says no more frat parties, no nothing, just Tlaloc's minions was covering the earth or whatever. I wrote down, look at the mummy, Don. That was fun. That was a fun reading.
That's nice.
He starts going on and on about I was taught to walk the earth with the greats like my father and his father before him, and it's his bloodline, and sure, whatever, white boy, you're Aztec. Yeah, great. Sure, whatever you say. But Don is just kind of like staring at him. He doesn't give a shit. Norman says he still needs the amulet, and Dawn taunts him with it. Oh, you need this.
It's so
This. What's the bit that Ryan gets on Joe for? This you say. The amulet you say.
That was Joe's, really, he was trying to make that a thing real hard.
So you're telling me I need to take this amulet here and just hand it on over to you? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're saying?
That's what he does.
Joe doesn't even remember his own bit. That wasn't it. But
It's
fine.
so weird though. So he brings up this amulet and he's like, you need this to, like, this is how you're controlling the mummy, huh? And at this point, it's made like, did they forget about the amulet? And they were like, fuck, we better reintroduce that to the movie because it doesn't make any sense. So, spoiler for, he stamps on the amulet and that breaks the bond between Norman here and the mummy. But wouldn't it make more sense that the person with the amulet controls the mummy and he somehow got it from the mummy
and the
now
mummy kills Norman?
Yeah, but no, instead it's just like once I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
It's because in the amount of time we've been recording this podcast, that's more time than they spent writing the script.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That extra 30 minutes would have been great for the production value.
And also, I will say there's all this talk about this amulet, the importance of this amulet, but the mummy's also wearing a necklace that's never talked about. I just think that they had to adorn him with that. I don't know. It just seemed like that should have been I don't know why.
And where did Don get the amulet or the bracelet?
Yeah, isn't he just wearing the loincloth at that point? Didn't he switch up?
No,
it's a Pulp Fiction situation. Mummy had it jammed up his cold, dark place for 5 years.
Yeah, they put the whole amulet right up his butt.
The whole thing.
It comes out, it's all covered in patina.
Jesus.
I do like how Norman asks pretty calmly for everything he's been doing so far, or not ask, but like, hey, give me that amulet. Hey, you, give me that. And it's like Don the whole time is like, I'm gonna break it. And he's like, hey, you better not. Don't. And he doesn't actually stop him from breaking the amulet in any capacity. He doesn't sick his mummy on him. He doesn't even lunge for it. He just lets him have it.
Yeah.
Lays down and takes it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the
I've
legacy.
been my audio's been cutting out like crazy. Were you guys
Oh, we stepped on the amulet, didn't we?
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Stepped
yeah,
on the
yeah.
amulet, and Norma screams no, and like starts to die, but the mummy's still there. Don and the mummy grapple for a little bit, like they usually do, before Don manages to stab the mummy right in the gut and kills him.
And
He rushes over to yes.
Well, the mummy screams.
Oh yes, there it is.
The whole time I'm watching this movie, I was ready to be really mad because Ancient Evil, Scream of the Mummy. Okay, and I know it's probably they wanted to throw the word "scream" in there because it was 1999, and Scream is still a very viable thing. And
You're probably right.
That's probably partly why. But the Mummy did indeed scream, so all is forgiven. I'm like, all right.
I just assumed
that perk up a little bit.
That they were so adamant that it had to be called Ancient Evil, but then there was like 30 other movies with that title. It's like Ancient Evil, Scream of the Mummy. But I think what you just said, Ryan, makes way more sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of movies at that time period that were just Scream knockoffs, low budget ones at that.
Yeah,
Stabby,
boy.
and that was one. But
so he screams, falls over, he's dead again. Don rushes over to untie Stacy, and they leave the museum. Stacy asks where everyone is. Don just says that they're all dead. And they ask, what happened here? And Don says, I don't know, and I don't want to know. I just want to get on with my life. The less I remember, the better I'll sleep at night. It's over. And Stacy says,
it's not, though. There's going to be
I
questions.
guess it is. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like this movie
What
is
a
interesting.
shitty ending.
you start on a 4.5 minute scene, just about exposition about a mummy. The whole time I'm like, who am I rooting for? And then like, I guess Don's our guy. And then Don's like, I don't even want to be here either. See ya. It's so bizarre. I just don't understand why would anyone write this? Like, unless it was just to make a buck. Like, I just don't know what.
It was just to make, because this was, even though you don't seem credited, Charles Band was involved in this. And so this was something like they probably had this set for a certain amount of time and they're like, we need to use it. Yeah. Can we write something? Can we, because that's usually how Charles Band worked. Yeah. And they had 4 days. If the internet's correct, they had 4 days.
Yeah.
And they shot
Down
the movie.
Mexico.
So they probably put it super fast and threw some these actors in it. And there probably wasn't a whole lot of thought. It was just product. Get it out.
The Evil Bong is going to be here next Tuesday, so we've got a couple days to shoot a movie.
Plus, the Mummy sequel was coming out that summer, I believe.
Yeah. Ooh, so
they want to cash in on that, and so probably was just quick. That's fine. We'll shoot it and move on.
God, this is probably like Sleepy Hollow High made $3 million selling through Walmart. Like, God, that's frustrating. But fun fact: the post-production supervisor on this film was named Eric Cartman.
Oh.
For all South Park fans out there.
Yeah, he's gonna feed somebody's parents to the kid, make him chili.
Yep, that's
a Cartman thing.
All right, so there you have it. The first movie of the second phase of the fight for Summer Fright, coming from Camp Two Hands, Ancient Evil, Scream of the Mummy, on a scale from malevolent to benevolent. Trevor, what do you got? Oh, did I freeze
He's
out?
froze.
No,
Trevor's
froze. Interesting.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Ancient Evil.
I don't think he's froze. I think he's having audio issues. Yeah, he's not frozen. He's just having
Trevor
audio
just
problems.
realized where he was. He's like, I'm out of here.
He just realized the score's probably not gonna be good.
Even for his own film pick. Well, Ryan, who do you think then?
Well, since Zach's here, I wanted to start with the team, the camp, and let them. So Zach, go ahead.
This movie's not good. This movie doesn't have a whole lot of charm. It doesn't have a whole lot of production value, but what it does have is one thick mummy and a lot of lightning. And I cannot, in good faith, call it a benevolent movie. Even though it is my movie, I don't know that I could call it benevolent.
I respect.
But can you call it Thick Mummy Summer?
I could definitely call it Thick Mummy Summer. I'm a little. I hate to say, I will be just barely malevolent, even for my own movie.
Wow.
with like I'm putting what like I'm lying back on a lazy river in a one of those floaty tubes, and one of my hands is over the side there touching the benevolent lazy river, and I'm feeling it, but I just have to be true to the facts here.
There's a kid peeing on the benevolent side, so you just quickly pull your hand back into the tube
and you taste it.
Yes, of course, of course.
Joe likes pee-pee.
Pee play.
Not in the water sports.
Speaking of
water sports.
Water sports. Did we talk? I think it was during Nick's segment when Morris goes and he sees, or he doesn't see, but he assumes that it's what's her name in the shower. He says, well, "I'm not into water sports." I'm like, "Yeah, that's not water sports. Shower."
You got it wrong, friend.
We've been doing it wrong all this time, bro. Anyway.
Well, he only pees in the shower. That's why.
Well,
could be.
A lot of showers a day.
And you only shower and pee.
I saw you chuckle genuinely, Joe. You can't hide it. Not with the camera on.
You're bouncing that microphone up and down.
I know. I've been watching him. That's how you know if he laughs. Earlier, I thought he fell asleep. I was checking for a pulse by watching the Yeti.
Joe looks like he's laying there. An alien has just burst from his stomach, but he grabbed it and he keeps putting it back in and out of his gut. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm just going lower.
Do it again.
He looks like
knee cam.
He looks like one of the dead engineers on the derelict ship. Looks like the elephant man or whatever they call him.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
So
the jockey or something.
Jockey,
that's space jockey.
Space jockey, that's right.
Let's hear from
Space Buckley.
My co-camper, Trevor.
Your bunkmate.
My bunkmate.
Co-counselor.
I never been to
bunkmate.
camp, so I don't know the
verbiage.
Joe, what are you doing with your microphone?
Joe, I don't want to see it anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's in his mouth, I bet.
Show us your face. No, we're on the ground.
And there's a corpse in that vent.
Yeah, no kidding.
Does your house have a phone? Does your house have a phone, Joe?
A phone line, yes. Yeah.
Give us the number.
I want the number because next time when this bullshit's going on, I'm calling your house and saying that we're on a Zoom with you and you just
I fell over.
Passed out. And I want to see you the
but they won't be able to answer because it's a dial-up and he's using the internet.
Well, I've got the no visitor. I've got the no visitors.
I got no visitors. I got the no visitors. I got a rest.
I've got no visitors sign on my bedroom door.
Misers.
That means they know that I might be jacking.
I like that in your universe, if we called your parents and said, "Hey, Joe's dying down in the basement," they'd go, "Oh, no visitors. He might be jacking off."
Is his Yeti moving?
Probably being.
Are you sure? Is his Yeti moving?
What's more likely is that Ryan calls the house, and then they say, "Hold on a second." Their parents call me, and it's just a daisy chain of our group calling Buckley's. But also, I love the idea of one day Joe going to a carnival and he sees something intriguing out of the corner of his eye and he decides to run over. He rips it off. He takes it to his house, knocks that door down with one kick of his foot, and he puts up a stall door from a porta potty because he likes the idea of having the little closed and open sign on it. And he scratches it off. He says, "Jacking it, not jacking it." That was a genuine giggle, you fuck.
Well, I'm a little bit high. It's okay.
You're not high. You always talk about, I can't get high.
No, this pen's really strong. 80% THC.
Yeah, it's only 90% ink, you idiot.
I will say, Joe has been fucking up words a lot more tonight. I think he might actually be high. Yes. Hey, don't apologize. We've gotten a lot of good bits. You're just like, we're just strip mining you.
Oh, yeah.
Your weird, tenuous grasp on vocabulary, man.
We're Joe fracking.
Listen, boys, fellas. This movie.
Sorry.
More drugs, Buckley.
Sucks. It's me and Zach's pick. There's a soft place in my heart for it, but at the same time, never again. Malevolent. Not entirely. This is like a tiptoer. You know, I would probably give this, if I was rating this like everybody else is, except for Zach, I would probably give this like a 2 points into Malevolent. There's not much here. Best thing I could say about this is it doesn't look that bad and it's pretty short. It feels long, but it's not really at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
yeah.
all right.
Who is gone? I had some audio issues there.
Just me so far.
Just you. Buckley, lay it on us. What did you think about this thing?
All right. I am going to absolutely have to go Malevolent.
Malevolent?
What a surprise, you say.
Malevolent.
Very good. Making up a weird combination.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
No, I'm just misspeaking. No, this is it's very, very boring. No blood effects. No titty shots.
There's blood.
No action.
There's blood.
No
There's
blood
no
effects, I said.
I guess.
No effects.
You mean like squirting?
Yeah.
Anything. Anything.
Stabbing,
It's a squirt. You gotta have the squirt.
A lack of blood for the amount of stabbing
Yeah.
that we saw happening.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was very, very bored watching it. Can't really think of a lot of good things it has going for it. I thought like a couple of the actors were okay. I like Dom especially. But other than that, Dom.
This ain't Fast and the Furious, boy.
Joe saw Fast 9.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
This
Listen,
movie
I
is
like
about
Dom, too.
family.
Dude, I can't wait till Abbott and Costello join the Fast and the Furious
Oh,
franchise,
man,
and they
I
all
can't
laugh at the
fucking wait.
mummy. But
They
Brendan
are,
Fraser's not allowed. Brendan Fraser bald.
Yeah, he's all bald and fat
Brendan
and gross
Fraser
and icky
big.
looking. He's got a big pot belly now. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go Nick.
Oh,
You know
I
what?
can reach through with this thing and strangle you.
I'm gonna
I would.
say some nice things about the movie because Joe won't, because he refuses to, because he's a dick.
He's Joe.
It's okay. So I'm also gonna say some bad things, but
Sure.
I'll say this: there was some effort put into lighting, which it's a bare minimum. It's a visual medium. We have to have lighting, but
the PA that they had standing there with the strobe light just off camera.
yes, because that is better than 90% of what we watch. But
Sure.
if you look, I mean, there is some thought put into, actually lighting the actors. It's there's a lot of blue. Don't get me wrong, but someone on this was competent enough in lighting. It's not good, but they tried. Someone did. Whoever did the set design for this though did not. They blew their load in very specific ways. That was not the one.
On their back.
Yes, just like Marlon Brando
Yeah.
did. They blew it
Famous
all over their
scene.
back.
Where Marlon Brando nuts all over his back.
Yes. So
What have they done to my boy? They got cum all over his back.
anyway, so the mummy looks pretty okay. Which again, I'm fairly certain that's a mask off the shelf, and that's a pretty thick mummy in there. But it's fine. The mummy looks good. Not much else though. Not much else going on in this. So overall, I'm gonna say it's boring. It is short, but it feels like forever. This feels like a 2-hour movie. It's like what, an hour and 10? It's
Something like that.
At a certain point, once the Scooby-Doo shit starts happening, it slows to a crawl. And I mean, there's one death early on, and then nothing for a long time. So, also, the whole ending, I wasn't even paying attention. It doesn't matter because you're not missing out. So I'm gonna go Malevolent. Pretty decently Malevolent.
Very good.
Tyler.
All right, boys.
No,
Oh, what are you doing?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I do.
Benevolent. This is one of the softest benevolence I'm ever gonna give. It's like a 0.05 benevolent. But I'm gonna send you the reason why I'm giving this a benevolent. It's not the real reason. I'm dropping it in the chat. I want to see your reactions when you see this. I was just digging around the end credits and I found this gem. Whoops,
I just keep laughing at this picture of
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah,
I told you he's icky. Oh yeah.
Oh my god!
Someone named Yolanda Squat Pump worked on this film.
I know the Squat Pump family. Yeah, they're very nice people.
Yeah. Did you murder them
New
along
Hampshire
with the Dingleberries?
Oh, the Grand Ridge Squat Pumps.
Oh, I didn't know Yolanda went to film school. That's very good of her.
I guess so. Good for her.
Okay, gotta be a story behind this entire credit. Fat Cat Post Support Team.
There's the Fat Cat was in there several times, so I don't know if that's just like maybe one of their company names that they throw on shit or something.
Yolanda Squat Pump.
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm not giving it benevolent because of that. So like, okay, this movie is a mess in a lot of ways, but like you guys know me by now. When a script is bad and the acting, I thought the acting was bad. I didn't really enjoy any of it. And I just felt like everybody was talking fast and talking over each other, and I loved it. So yes, there's so many scenes that go on forever with nothing happening, just long shots of the mummy walking, nothing happening. But like the characters, I'll never forget, even though they clearly had no interest in even being in their own film. Now, I'm not talking about the actors, I'm talking about the literal characters. Like, I loved it too much. And it's stupid and it's dumb. And like, I even found myself laughing when they cut to shots of the mummy just shambling by itself. Because I was putting myself in that scene like a fly on the wall, just watching this happen. And it's like, okay, it's the hallway shot in Scooby-Doo where everybody's going in and out of doors, except it's not that. It's on a compound, and everybody's on opposite ends of the building, all walking slowly in a circle, but never reaching each other. I just thought that it's funny, and it's bad, and it's dumb, and so like, I appreciated, like, much like Zach's victorious rise with Insecticidal, like. I've been helping people download movies, not so much for Ryan and Sean, but for Nick and Joe and Trevor and Zach. And I do think you guys both got a little boned with your, iconic element that you had to have. And I'm impressed. Like, I think you guys pulled it off. And so it's the ride, man. It's the ride. And today's episode was a wild ride. It's been 3 weeks or 4 weeks since we've done this. I'm glad to be back with the boys. I'm having a good time, and I was sipping my beach plum LaCroix or whatever the fuck it was. It was delicious. And so maybe it's the mood that's lifting me up to give this thing a benevolent, but you know what? Fuck it. I'll be the lone warrior holding the amulet, keeping the mummy at bay.
You're the sacrifice to Tlaloc. Thank you.
Yeah, because...
Ryan himself. What do you got?
Because Ryan ain't gonna like this thing.
No, this is a Malevolent. It's not an angry Malevolent from me.
That's good.
Sometimes I'm watching one of these and I'm pissed off. It's so bad. I'm just mad that I'm watching it, and I'm like, "What's the point?" But I did feel that with this. This was just sort of a pointless movie. Nothing. We spend most of our time with Morris, who's the worst character. It's a lot of people that really are unmemorable. And I don't, like I said, I don't think the acting was bad. I felt that the actors were trying their best with bad material, especially the back and forth between Norm and Don at the end. I saw two young actors doing their best with shitty, stupid material and probably one or two takes. And so I would like to see these actors in some other, better material. I think you'd see that they could do it. They know what they're doing. But the movie doesn't have that as far as like a movie that's bad and stupid, but you're still enjoying it. It doesn't have enough bad moments or silly moments for me or over where I can get behind it. Like, oh, that is, like an Aquanoids where your jaw drops. You're like, God, this is bad, but you're still laughing and enjoying the badness. This was just kind of unmemorable. And, the chubby mummy, that didn't bode well for me. Although I thought the mask or whatever, even if it was a store-bought mask, I liked the way it looked. And, and I love a good mummy movie. And, but this, a mummy movie is only not an adventure mummy movie, but a horror mummy movie is only as good as a supporting cast because the mummy itself can't do a whole lot but stalk and kill. So if you get a nice nefarious bad guy behind the mummy as their high priest or whatever, it can be a lot of fun. This movie obviously didn't do that either. So, and then judging it by our July Slaughterfest rules of gore and like big body count and that sort of thing, it didn't deliver there either so much. So yeah, I'm, pretty hardcore malevolent on this one. But again, like I said earlier, and like Tyler also said, you guys were given a tough one, a real tough one. And the fact that you found anything that was watchable in any form is to be commended. So, you still were able to satisfy Summer and Monster and atmosphere change. So it's not a total loss.
I'll take it.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Take what we can get.
Well, it looks like I'm the Morris of tonight, so let's do that, Kreger boys. Okay, Camp Cardiff Giant, Ryan, as the sole representative here today.
Oh,
Make your announcement, but first let us know who is your killer and what is the iconic element they had to have.
This looks nuts.
Our movie is from 2004. It is called Skinned Deep.
Holy shit.
And it doesn't have just one killer.
Oh
it's got multiple killers, including I feel he was doing this as a favor to a friend who's directing his first movie. Warwick Davis is in the movie, playing a killer by the name of Plates. He throws plates and kills people with plates.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
The director of this movie, Gabe Bartalos, longtime makeup guy, still to this day. He did the makeup effects on all the Leprechaun films. So I feel that that's how he got the Warwick Davis in, because this is a low budget affair, although it's got some great effects. It's a very low budget affair. And it's very Texas Chainsaw derivative. But, and I will implore you not to watch the trailer for this. Do not, because the trailer spoils almost all the good gore goofs. Okay. And I think the movie works better when you see them happen in real time. But it is a sloppy, violent slaughter fest type of movie with a little bit of comedy in it and a whole lot of Texas Chainsaw ripoff. And I'll be interested to see the discussion on this movie. So.
All right,
man. This is a good looking poster. Yeah, I'm excited from this.
Yeah,
the Blu-ray actually looks phenomenal.
Yeah, there's a Blu-ray coming out, I think next month or later this month. Finally, after many, many years. Although, so the version we have is not that version. Ours is the VHS rip that I first saw it on years ago. So, or maybe
that's more authentic.
Yeah, well, it's certainly
experience
because it's certainly a low budget offering. So. But Surgeon General is, I guess, is the name of the character that's on the poster. He's the Surgeon General. So, and I will also say, watch through the credits. Not that there's a button scene at the end of the credits, but we do have a screen badge, I believe, that's going to be given out one of these months. So just watch all of the credits.
Is it better than Yolanda Squat Pump?
It's not as funny as Yolanda Squat Pump, and it may actually make you dislike the movie. I don't know. It may turn the tide against the movie if you end up liking it, and then you watch the credits. It may annoy you, but I think it's at least needs to be said to watch the credits.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Oh man,
Gastronaut Camp, boys, how are you doing? You don't have to tell us, but just like how's it going so far?
Going great.
Yeah. Best ever.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah.
We're a good team.
Yeah. We're the best lookers.
Mm-hmm. You look really good.
Yeah. I just like looking at stuff with my eyes and stuff, and like applying the categories to them.
Joe's in space right now.
Yeah.
He's just out of this
damn
world.
high.
Next time we see him, he's gonna be looking like the damn mummy. He's gonna be all dehydrated, wrapped up in toilet paper, not knowing where he's at.
I've just got a bunch of rolling papers just dragged along my body.
Dragged. Joe would find a way to get himself mummified on a toilet.
Yeah.
Just fused with that porcelain.
That actually happens. That's happened to a couple particularly fat people. They just sit on it for like months.
It's like how the Egyptians like removed all of their organs from the mummy, but they just like shits them all out in the toilet.
I thought you were gonna say they put them all in Joe.
Well, Joe, you might
all of them.
Enjoy this quick digression, but my dad told me a story years ago that happened at his job years ago. A guy was on the toilet taking a shit, one of their coworkers, and somebody thought it would be funny to throw a bucket of cold water over the stall. Unfortunately, he was right in the middle of shitting, and the cold water shocked him to such an extent the turd was stuck halfway inside of his body. He had to go to the hospital.
Oh God!
What was this turd made of?
Steel.
Bro, his body had some sort of shock to the cold water that it like froze his sphincter or something, and he couldn't. I don't know. He had to go to the doctors.
Call my mama. I can't get the poo-poo out.
I don't. Oh, that's weird.
All right, boys. Well, great work.
Trevor, you want to know something I just saw that might fuck you up?
Sure.
In Moonraker, guy with the big metal teeth, right?
It's like, why are you telling me this? Jaws, Richard Kiel, yes.
Yes. So the girl he gets with at the end, right? She smiles.
Is this a Mandela effect?
It is.
Where you're talking about the braces that she doesn't have? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Do you remember him?
What are you doing during the podcast?
He's looking
we're
up
recording with our
Moonraker
friends.
facts.
That there are 6 people here, Joe. You are one of 6. Okay. We're all hanging out, talking about stuff in the room together, and you're on fucking Reddit r/Moonraker. Like, oh, hey, Trevor, did you hear about the fucking pay attention? Our time is valuable, Joe. We have jobs. We have things to do tomorrow. And we're choosing to spend our Monday night with you for 2 hours and 19 minutes, and you're on r/Moonraker.
Absolutely. I read that earlier. I remember
because you said
reading it earlier.
Why were you looking at Moonrakers? Because it's referenced
because it came in
Black Widow?
Because it's in Black Widow.
Yeah,
because you watched it in Black Widow briefly.
Things don't look too good for you right now because on the last episode of The Man with No Brain, multiple times you had to be stopped ticky-tacking on your mouse and keyboard.
But you can see my hand for most of it because my thing was like this. So you can see my hand. I wasn't touching anything.
All right. So for the next episode, I want you to scoot back even further so we see your hands the whole time.
Yeah, so you can see my crotch.
I want to see your entire body, the whole.
I want to watch Joe do like a GoPro in the corner of the room.
It's like turned into Cloverfield just now.
The amount of like camera changes we get in a single recording with Joe is incredible.
Uh-huh.
Look at him. It's like Cloverfield, except if the monsters had the camera.
Okay, there. I'm writing the podcast now.
Fine, yeah. That way I can't.
Okay, now we're gonna hear.
Get that gooch.
You guys can do my segment. I'm just gonna take a nap.
Hi, I'm Joe Buckley. Welcome to Grundle Cam.
Look at how tired he is, and look at what he didn't have to do. Your segment was so fucking short.
Yeah,
7 minutes of it was some
saying.
lady walking around in the dark, and you're exhausted, kicking back.
There's some bulging in there. Are you seriously wearing a diaper? And I'm not joking.
I am not wearing a diaper.
There's some weird bulging. That's all I'm saying. Then you shit your
wearing
pants.
2 pairs of jeans. That's
You
what's
shit your
happening.
pants.
Oh, Joe!
He's going overboard.
Joe
All
fell
right.
over. Joe fell
Good night,
over.
folks.
Okay, so for people who don't know, Joe's chair that he uses at his computer desk is
It's like a fucking lazy boy.
It's an ancient evil of lazy boy. and oh my god, Joe, was that intentional or did you accidentally fall over?
I hope he broke his chair for a bit.
Did he like fucking snap his neck? Okay, he's moving. Thank Christ.
Oh,
He's convulsing.
I love Joe. Look at him go. Oh, as much as I love to shit on
I
Joe.
can't get up.
Hashtag pray for Joe.
Look, there's a microphone.
He hasn't been this active in months.
Is that? I didn't even realize your microphone was wireless. Or did he did it unplug while he was falling
Joe.
back? It unplugged.
You fucking idiot. You dingus.
Is there pee? Did he pee a little?
I did not piss myself.
He just peed a little bit, yeah.
That's pee.
That looks like some pee, boy.
Ah!
I don't need to see this.
He
All
just
right.
mashes it.
Okay.
All right. Let's watch Skin Deep. See ya.
Yep. All right. Goodbye.
Yeah, bye everybody.
Bye,
Goodbye,
boys.
people.
Stop holding your wiener.
Okay.
You suck, Joe. Sometimes I love you.